What do you get when you cross a know-it-all newspaper columnist with an awkward, unsophisticated everyman?
Yeah. Well, I'm just not sure about that right now.
Welcome to Couch and the Rube.
Welcome to Couch in the Rube, our Monday show, presented by our friends at Muskox Quality Flannels. I'm telling you right now, it is Muskox weather if it's ever existed. Look your best, feel your best. Enjoy the comfort and quality of a Muskox flannel. Go muskox.com, where you can use the promo code PEACOCK to get $15 off a flannel purchase. A reminder, when you support Muskox, you are supporting us. These guys are good guys. They create a quality product. And they also, $5 of every flannel sold goes to the Alaska Wildlife Conservancy. This is a calling for them, and they've donated more than $100,000 already. Go muskox.com. Jason, how you doing, brother?
So, end of that story. Ask me another question, you won't get an answer. Back to the white elephant in the room. They don't want to deal with the white elephant in the room.
Let's go green, go God.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Better question.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm all right.
Okay.
Why? After the Super Bowl yesterday? It was a boring one. Is that what you mean?
No, not what I mean.
We had a nice taco bar. We had homemade Frosties and everything.
Yeah, you don't have any of those tacos in you anymore. Sorry.
Gross. You know?
Sorry, that is gross.
Yes, I have a colonoscopy tomorrow, scheduled for tomorrow. Graham is so excited that I'm shitting my pants. He's so giddy about it. I love that. You can just tell it's a guy that's been through it before, and now he's excited someone else has to shit their pants.
Yeah.
Sorry to be graphic if people are eating their lunch.
The funny thing is, we had...
There's nothing funny about it. Come on.
No, about this. But that specific episode where we talked about my colonoscopy, and I'm sorry for starting the show like this. It's awful. But is apparently the only show of this, the only episode of Couch in the Rube that Tom Izzo has ever seen, from what I've been told.
Really?
He walked into the room. I was on the YouTube channel. We were talking about my...
Why don't you write something? Huh?
So he has seen the show. He knows what it's about. So Steven had it on.
Yeah.
Like on a big screen?
I don't know how big the screen. I don't know what the whole situation. I don't know if he was.
Steven, we need details.
I don't know if Steven was like hiding porn and Tom walked in and like that popped up. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Sorry, that was it.
Apologize to Steven. What are you talking about? He doesn't do that.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Is Dad around? Weirdo.
No. So that is the only episode I know for sure he is aware of. So that's the impression we left.
So did he ask a question about it? It's like, what is Couch doing? What is he talking about? Or he just goes, man, that's boring, and kept walking.
I don't know. I did not.
You're not very good at follow-up questions. Is that what we're saying here?
That's pretty much it. You've
he's
seen me in press conferences.
He's aware of Couch of the Rube podcast.
He is. Yes,
right.
He is. By the way, if you are going to have a colonoscopy, which we do advise everybody to have, it's great.
Do people do that?
Yes. I would also advise showing up at the hospital with a Muskox flannel. Look your best, feel your best. If you're going to go into any surgery like this where you're going to show an unflattering part of yourself, show up at least with a Muskox flannel. Okay.
They scheduled it, and they're like, yeah, it's like 2 days after the Super Bowl. I'm like, all right, yeah, I can do that, right?
Yeah,
it's not like old school shoving terrible food down my throat. We had some good times, good food last night. So anyway,
yeah.
And with your terrible bets, by the way, one of the worst Super Bowls of all time. I didn't hit any bets, no squares, no nothing. And all everyone was doing in the first half was texting me, Couch and if a kicker, Jacob Thalen texted me before half. He goes, if the kicker gets MVP, he's like, there's no way I can listen to the podcast. Or what did he say? He said he was going to throw himself off a balcony or something. I forget. But anyway, all I could deal with, that's what made it even worse, is that I was getting people's, with Couch's terrible Super Bowl bets that it was a possibility they were going to hit, especially in the first half. The no touchdown bet, which, by the way, we're calling shenanigans on your no TD bet.
Why?
You claimed that you bet it, right?
Yes, I did.
Before the game. What were the odds?
Plus 1,200.
That's impossible.
They're not good. That's part of the reason I put a small amount.
But tell everyone who you bet it with. This is not some sports book, Firekeepers, or anyone that you know of. So, by the way, just hold on. Let me explain this. So we were Dominic did come over yesterday to the Midnight Tavern.
Awesome.
So we were sitting next to each other. We're like, dude. So we were group texting.
So you and Dominic are group texting me, sitting next to each other?
Because we were fascinated. We were like, we need to see the ticket. Okay. And then you said you got it at 12-1, and I'm like,
no.
Pre-game, you said no touchdown bet. before the game, you placed it.
It's more than 12 to 1. It's right. It's. Well, no, it's 12 to 1. Yeah, 12 to 1. Sorry, 12 to 1. Yeah.
Those odds make sense to you.
Yeah. Well, no.
Before the game, I'm saying even if you watch the first half, so 12 to 1 makes sense.
I think they are on to. So a couple things. One, this is a bet for people who don't know, and I've said it before. Really quickly. Years ago, before the Rams-Patriots Super Bowl, that almost didn't have a touchdown.
Correct.
I went into this same account. This is not
people know your take. You do it every Super Bowl.
This is not the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app that we so love. This is like the guy you meet at a Big B parking lot in Frandor, right?
Why did you have to place a bet with that guy? There's so many books that are legal here.
Because back then I just saw what the max. I was just scrolling through props, and I saw the idea that you could put no touchdowns. I said, what would that be? And the maximum bet you could do would be like $250, and it would have paid $77,000. Now Tom Brady was on that. The Rams had better offense. Like I think they were less thinking it was a possibility than this particular Super Bowl. I've only seen the line come considerably down in the years past that. I couldn't even find on
it's never happened in the history of the Super Bowl.
Correct, and I couldn't find a reputable sports book.
And a guy at Panera gave you 12 to 1.
I couldn't even offer or find an offer for it this year on an actual real sports book except for there. So that's what I
see. I lost money on your excuse because I thought you were going to say I had minus 180. That you were going to say that you forgot a zero. That was 120 to 1. But you're claiming that those are fair odds, which
they're
is
not
wild.
fair odds. That's why I just put a small bit for my own peace of mind.
Why did you have to meet a guy at Panera? Why is this offshore local guy?
I didn't say that. I said this is the type of thing. The type of thing that
you
would
placed
happen.
a bet with an offshore guy.
Oh yes, for that yes, yes.
But why? Okay. Does anybody else make it? Does this make sense for anyone? I'm just saying we were dumbfounded. It's all we talked about because the Super Bowl was so boring. I demand answer. I have to know because why would Couch lie about this? It's just between us three, me, Dominic, and Graham in the chat group. We didn't. If you would have said I didn't bet it, we'd be like, no, all right. Then we would have goofed on you for that a little bit. But why would he lie and say 12 to 1?
If I were to lie about it, I'd give myself better odds.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
that's why it does nothing. None of this makes any sense right now.
Yeah. Well, I just did it for peace of mind because I wanted to have something on that particular bet. I just put.
Is that peace of mind though? So if it ended up hitting, you'd be embarrassed. It would be like hitting a hole-in-one on a par 3 with a driver.
Which is the only way.
That's a great analogy. Wait, let that analogy sit there because that was good. I'm proud of myself.
As somebody who plays a driver on a par 3 once in a while, I take some offense to that.
So you're claiming that bet's okay. All right.
It was not a look. Yeah, it didn't hit.
Please tell me, Jay Riemenschneider, if you believe your boy Graham, if you believe that bet, why would you?
And if anybody else found
plus 12, I mean, by the way, this is before the game. This is not during halftime where it would have made possible sense. Even then, it's still a little light. Pre-game with all the festivities, everybody's thinking maybe there's a possibility the over hits, blah, blah, blah. 12 to 1. I would be offended if anyone gave me those odds pre-game. And
let me just say this. I have not seen those odds on any reputable sportsbook anywhere. If anybody found that bet, period, as an offer, it would be great to know because and what the odds were because I couldn't find it out there. And what's also happened now with the Super Bowl is there are so many prop bets. It's actually hard to find certain things here and there. So it's possible I missed it somewhere.
So you're saying you couldn't find it, so you had to call your backup person.
It goes through a website. It's a website.
But it's your bet. It isn't your first choice. Correct. Since you couldn't find it, you're like, oh, I got to bet this. I have to. You just had to bet it.
Well, I play a few things.
I understand, but you felt like you had to put money on it because of your reputation.
Correct.
And you're
correct. Because I talked a big game about it. Correct.
Okay.
Yes, that's why I did it. I didn't do it because I thought this is good. These are good odds.
But 12 to 1 odds never phased you as that being.
Well,
wild.
I didn't love it. I looked everywhere else. I thought this is not great, but I'm going to do it. So that's why I did it.
All right.
Anyway.
Hey, that's Couch's excuse. He's sticking to it. Man, yeah, we were fascinated by that last night. It was fun. It was better than the Super Bowl.
Well,
as my wife's hitting $1,000 square next to me.
I won 50 on.
You did win 50.
Which is
congrats.
Good.
Yeah,
which is nice.
Good for you. Everybody hit but me.
We are going to dig into our takes and yours. And as we dig into your takes, by the way, for these next couple of weeks, we are going to include the Shake Shack takes of the day.
Yeah.
And those will include takes we select from your takes here. Jason's going to select one from the YouTube comments as well. And this is all ahead of Shake Shack coming to Lansing. I cannot tell you how excited my wife is about this. I saw something in her eyes when I mentioned this that I have not seen since before we were married. Just this glimmer of
and then
hope
she thought
and
about you
anticipation.
eating Shake Shack. And
I don't know if that sweet the national championship's on. Oh, I can't wait for this. It just happens. I just broke my chair for real.
It's going to be a third chair snap.
It did. Yeah.
Thank you, Shake Shack.
Anyway, Shake Shack's grand opening next Wednesday, February 18th in Frandor. We seem to have a lot of associations with Frandor these days.
Are we going to be there for the ribbon cutting?
There is so the day before there's a friends and family deal too, and we'll put out the site on Tuesday, February 17th, where you have to reserve a time slot, and it's like their last day of training and all that before they get hit with a zillion people. But the grand opening is Wednesday, February 18th. They're open 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., and the ribbon opening is 9:15 a.m. The first 100 guests in line, when the doors open at 10, will receive a limited edition Shack beanie, and we have some Shake Shack gift cards to give away for the Shake Shack takes of the day. We'll do that this week and next week for sure. I'm telling you, this menu is. If you've never been to a Shake Shack, it's incredible. I've been in Chicago. You've probably seen them in airports. They're all over the country. It's great to have one in Lansing. I feel like we've arrived.
They have so much food on there. It's grilled cheese, burgers.
Incredible. I'm a big fan.
Brutal looking at it this morning because I can't eat all day. So
the Smoke Shack is one of my absolute favorite burgers I've had there. They also have healthy food. Veggie Shack lettuce wraps. All sorts of things. Really cool that they're coming to Lansing, and of course they have some great shakes as well. We'll talk more about them in a little bit. You ready with your first take?
Go for it, man. You want to explain this? Why was Izzo so mad at Larry Lage?
On fears. I don't know. Larry, you're the only guy that would ask that question. I have no idea. I didn't go over there. If he breathes on somebody now, there's going to be a call thanks to what happened. So end of that story. Ask me another question. You won't get an answer.
Ooh. Larry a part of the Blue Wall?
So Larry used to cover Michigan State. He was the Lansing State Journal during the national championship years. He's been at the AP for 20 some years since, and he went straight there from the Lansing State Journal. It's clear Izzo is just frustrated with this.
These post-game pressers are must-watch now, man.
It was a legitimate question. Didn't love the tone from Izzo, but I get why he's frustrated with it, and I knew that was coming, and I was glad Larry was there to step up and ask the question because it happened on the court. Like, it wasn't something that didn't happen in the game, right? It had to be asked. That's just part of the job, and it was.
And shout out to Fears, by the way, for coming back after all of that stuff at home, 43 minutes. Yeah. I mean, what he did, it was unbelievable. And Jordan Scott with his defense, I mean, Wagler, 2 for 16, just an unbelievable performance, man.
Yeah. No. Oh, by the way, text from Steven Izzo right now.
Okay.
This is what happened with that episode with Tom.
Okay.
He said he was laughing uncontrollably, and Tom asked him what was so funny, and I just rewinded so he could hear the audio. Excellent.
That's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so my take on this game, I think the biggest thing Michigan State did for itself in beating Illinois is create, and the most important thing is create a sense of belief that it can win those games. Because if you're always coming up short against the very elite teams and you get to the final minute or final minutes in Ann Arbor, or you take the lead in the second half and the Elite Eight against Arizona or whatever it might be, you have to believe you're going to win these games. And it becomes a little bit of a it just becomes a little bit of who you are. It becomes in your DNA that you lose these sort of games when you start losing them consistently. And they were really good against a lot of teams that turned out to be sort of in that next tier, a couple tiers down, ranked 20th to 30th, the North Carolinas of the world, the Kentuckys, Arkansas. And there's some immense talent on those teams, and maybe some of those teams will be elite teams by the NCAA tournament and teams you wouldn't want to see. But there is a difference between Michigan and Duke and Illinois, which are 3 of the top 4 teams, right, in college basketball and Ken Pom. And Michigan State has played 3 of them, and to this point, the game has had some similarities where they've taken a lead, but you haven't thought they were the better team, and the other team looked like the better team in the final minutes. And they outlasted one of those teams in Illinois, and they did things like what Jordan Scott did, having a stopper to shut down Keaton Wagler, which I thought was an incredible performance by him. This is a guy who had 28 in a win at Nebraska, 46 in a win at Purdue. Like, he's a legit dude. He's a legit Big Ten Player of the Year candidate. And so I thought that was like, I don't think Michigan State's as good as Illinois right now. But I think they have things within who they are that they can still grow into. I think they show, they are not, they can be a really tough out. They're never going to overwhelm people offensively. So they need a lot of the things we saw against Illinois to be working for them and to be working for them consistently if they're going to make a run, right? They need like Jordan Scott and Kurt Tang to hit shots. And Jordan Scott, by the way, is shooting, I think, 43% from three in Big Ten play. Like, you don't think of him as hitting that many threes, but he is. And so maybe the volume ticks up a bit there. When Cohen Carr plays with like a purpose and grit, it just changes who they are athletically. And it's not an every game thing for him. And so he needs, it was the second half at Minnesota needs to be a more regular thing. The way he came out against Illinois needs to be a regular thing because they need they need Kohler obviously to hit shots again. They need Fears a given to play 34 to 38 minutes, and be really good and have his body hold up and be able to play at this level. But they've got to get themselves to an offensive profile on Ken Palm that's a little higher than like in the 40s where they're at right now. Those teams don't win national championships. They just don't. And they're never going to be they're an elite defensive team. All the metrics say so. They're an elite rebounding team. And so the question is what they can become as an offensive team, and they're never going to be perfect. They don't have enough ball handling for that. They don't have a true go bucket getter guy. But I think there's another level for Scott. There's another level for Ken Ward.
Well, you think that could be Scott possibly, though?
Well, he could get better. I don't know, in his career maybe. I don't know this year. He's not going to be Jace Richardson this year. We would have seen it already, right? What Jace Richardson was showing offensively, that's not going to happen. So you're not going to have a guy who I think they were hoping Trey Fort would be more of a bucket getter. And maybe with this opportunity now with, Divine Ugochukwu out for the year, that he will show more of that. But they need consistency of it. Like if you look at Kurt Tang's line, for example, Kurt Tang hits 2 threes. It's a massive three. And you give him credit for missing a three, getting the ball back, and not hesitating and hitting it. Like that's a really good sign in big moments that he's not scared. We've seen him come out at Madison Square Garden and look great against Kentucky. I don't question his confidence in himself, which I think is important, and his teammates have confidence in him. But before this game, I think he was, over the previous 5 games, 2 for 11 from three, with the 2 previous games totally at 3 points. Like there's an inconsistency. Before that stretch, he had 2 games in a row where he had 3 threes and 11 points in each game. You cannot win 6 games in a row with inconsistency like that from that position. And so they need guys to grow into threats and consistent players. And I think they have guys who are young enough that can happen to some degree. Certainly I think Cam Ward has another gear that we saw against Illinois. Like, can that now be who he is a little more? He was plus 15 against Illinois. Like nobody else was even close to that. He was really, really good. And Jordan Scott had 15 points against Minnesota, 10 in the 2 games around it. And, and obviously he had a huge defensive assignment that was his biggest chore in the last game. So those are things, can they grow into being a team that when they play these sort of teams, it feels like a more 50-50 proposition? Because it doesn't feel like that quite yet.
But isn't it usually a 50-50? If they're going to turn over the ball only 8 times, and I say only because it's under 10, and I think they can beat anyone when they only turn over the ball 8 to 9 times. I think they're always live. It's when they go in the double digits, they go 15, 16 turnovers, they're going to lose to pretty much anyone doing stuff like that.
That is true as well. I mean, they do have to play a clean game.
Right.
But the question is, do you have the firepower to overcome the non-clean game, right? And that's what it's going to take at some point in that stretch. I do think I've said it all along, I think they're more equipped to beat top-tier teams than they were a year ago. I do not think last year's Michigan State team beats this Illinois team last Saturday. I just don't. I think that the Big Ten with Michigan and Illinois at the top is just better than it was a year ago. Michigan State last year had an incredible run. I'm not saying that team couldn't have couldn't have had a great run last year and been really effective, but that this year's Illinois team and this year's Michigan team are just different than the Michigan and Illinois teams or anybody else who was competing with them last year. And so that's more important than being in the Big Ten race, which I think it's always good to have that still to play for, and they're on kind of the outskirts of that a little bit. I think it's the level of belief that you can beat these teams. And then, they're only going to have one more game before March, before the Big Ten tournament and the NCAA tournament against a team of that caliber, and that's the game in Ann Arbor to close the year. But they have games before that where it's important to see, like, what do they look like at Wisconsin? Wisconsin's a good team at home, and a team that beat Michigan and can get hot. That's a tough place to win. I think, though Michigan State is likely to be favored by a couple. Like, can they look the part, and can they do it consistently, and can we begin to trust that they're at another level?
What grade would you give Cohen Carr on Saturday night?
Give me
Back
one.
to the
It's
white
the white
elephant in the room. They don't want to deal with the white elephant in the room.
I love Cohen Carr more than most of my family.
Okay.
I'm saying I just feel like it's the elephant in the room with Cohen sometimes, to where should he just start taking it to the basket?
Well,
good things can happen when you go to the basket, I think.
Saturday had a couple things happening. Like,
He had no free throws.
one, he takes that, his head slams to the court, and he's out for a little bit. And
He claiming CTE?
nope, but
Oh.
I'm just saying he looked off to a great start before that, right? And he did have 8 points, 4 of 8 shooting. He had, one missed 2 threes, but he had a couple plays where he, finds his spot, shoots that mid-range shot, had 6 rebounds, in 37 minutes. He had a good block. I mean, it was not a great performance, but it was I don't know how rattled he was, and I'm not
Are we
saying,
making excuses for him?
No.
Because here's the thing.
It'll be a cold day in hell before I give up on Cohen Carr.
I agree, Tom. I'm not giving up. I'm just saying it feels like when we talk about these games and breakdowns after the games on these shows, we kind of ignore the white elephant in the room, though, with Cohen sometimes.
So I don't think we should. But I don't think he deserves a pass for the way he played the first half against Minnesota. But I thought he was pretty good against Illinois in parts, and then and I thought he got off to a great start. And that's usually that start is telling and it carries through. And so that's why I don't know if getting rattled and being out of the game for a little bit affected him in some way. But they need more from him.
You will understand that sounds like an excuse for Cohen.
Let me slam your head into the floor
and
see how you do the rest of this show.
I understand, but I'm just saying it just sounds like
Yeah.
Because, again, we've talked about it before, but Cohen Carr is the guy that is going to be a key component
100%.
if this team wants to win a natty. And if we just keep ignoring it and hope it just turns itself around, I would like to find a solution.
Well, and the key is now he is in his junior year, February of his junior year, right? These are performance times.
Yeah.
This is not development anymore. And I'm not saying you don't want to continue to develop, because there are other areas of his game that still need to develop. But in terms of what he's able to give this year, I mean, I think we know what he is skill set wise. I think the key for Cohen Carr is purpose and focus and mindset wise going into games. Not focus is the wrong word, but purpose and mindset and the way he attacks it. You're right, going to the rim. You can see it. The way he rebounds, to me, is the most telling thing of where he is. And to me, early in this game, he was flying in for rebounds. He was flying around. Like, I don't think it matters. I mean, obviously, good stats, made shots help. But he is one of those guys, and Aaron Henry had this, and Aaron Henry was a little bit different player, but he played on some teams that weren't. When he was a freshman, for example, he was on a Michigan State team that went to the Final Four, but wasn't overly athletic. And what Aaron Henry gave them when he was on the court is he changed who they were athletically. It changed the whole profile of the team. Like, it just felt like everybody around him was more athletic. Cohen Carr does some of that. And now this Michigan State team is more athletic, better in the post than that team, longer at other spots. But Cohen Carr still has that impact. He's still a pain in the ass. Like, trying to rebound against Cohen Carr has to be a complete pain in the ass if you're the opposing team.
Absolutely.
It's like, why is that? I got my ass into him. Why is he 5 feet above me? And when he plays with that sort of purpose, I think he makes a huge difference for Michigan State. And I saw that early against Illinois. I did not see that early against Minnesota. It's been hit or miss this year, and they need that from him. Another thing, they will not go far unless that's who Cohen Carr is down the stretch and in the postseason.
All right.
What is your take?
Last night, watching the Super Bowl, and I'm happy for Matt Drolette, by the way, the Seahawks winning, but I couldn't stop thinking about the Lions and how long this offseason is going to be. And can this team, I mean, really, is the Seahawks a team? I know defensively, they didn't go through many injuries throughout the season, but defensively, God damn, if the Lions can get there. It's all about the Lions, sorry. I constantly was thinking, why did Couch only bet 12-1 pregame on no TDs? And also, why aren't the Lions in the Super Bowl this year? Why didn't the Lions make the playoffs this year? And I just can't wait to the draft. The grind of this offseason is going to chap my ass. And it just doesn't seem like it's too far away. And we talk about the window closing constantly. So I don't know. I want to get to one of these one day in my life, man.
I kept thinking, why aren't the Lions in the AFC? Because
You would think something like that.
No, I thought last year's Lions team, even as beat up as they were, would have been really interesting in this game because they could still put up points, and it would have been. It's
about defense, though, man. You get that defense going. God, I want a solid D so badly. Branch, who knows when he's going to come back? A lot of questions to be answered anyway, so it's not even a hot take. I got nothing else.
Let me say this: as somebody who's being criticized for the type of bets he makes, I did not make the kicker bet, by the way, the kicker MVP bet. I did not pull the trigger on that. But I did have a lot of the unders, and even some live unders that somehow lost because all of a sudden there were 1 million points at the end of the game. I did win on the Kenneth Walker prop bets, like overs, receiving.
MVP?
Did not do the MVP, but I did over receiving, over rushing, over minus 23 or 23 more yards than the Patriots' top running back. And there was one other, I can't remember, but I won 4 Kenneth Walker
You just
bets.
check your account the next day to see if there's money in it before just looking back at all of the bets.
You know how it is. You have too many things going on. And sometimes
I didn't have as many as you did.
And once you
I've
lose,
slowed down on my Super Bowl bets.
I got upset once I lost the live under. I stopped. I was just annoyed at the whole situation because it felt like the best bet in the world to have a live under at the beginning of the game of 40.5. Like early in the game, I was like, oh, these two teams are going to struggle. Like I felt like I was on it, and then somehow lose a 40.5 live under in that game that was 9-0 at halftime seems absolutely ridiculous. But I do think that the one thing that's cool about that is when you have a bet on like failure, and when all of a sudden every punt and every failed third down is a little bit of an endorphin. It's
You're
not
the only one cheering when the game is
it's
ass.
not the worst experience.
Like, guys, what's wrong? Why are you all down? Huh? This game is great, huh?
It's not the worst experience in the world. So, all right. Before again we dig into these.
I got one more.
Oh, you got one more?
I got
Okay.
one more. Actually, it's kind of sad, but it's very interesting to me. Terrence Gore, he's a former outfielder for the Kansas City Royals, died at the age of 34.
I saw this,
and it said due to complications during a routine surgery. And I'm sorry to Terrence Gore and his family, condolences, but all I could do is like scan the whole column, the article, to see what the routine surgery was. Like, you have to understand, when you put this stuff in the public eye, we all have routine surgeries. I know Couch just had his first, the colonoscopy was your first under anesthesia, but most of us normal people have routine surgeries. So why wouldn't you tell us in broad detail? I know that, it just came out and the story broke yesterday or whatever. You know what I mean? When you see someone that passes away at a young age and you want to, I need to know.
it's scary. The idea that you can go in for something routine.
I mean, you mourn and then you
yeah.
go, oh my God, like, wait a minute. What do you mean by routine surgery? What's a routine surgery to you? A colonoscopy? It's not technically surgery.
Yeah. This is why you wear the muskox flannel when you go into the hospital. You want to look your best.
Partial knee replacement? I mean, what are we talking here?
It's like yeah. If this is your final outfit, choose wisely.
That's what I need. Another scared thing in my brain.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well.
Anyway, rest in peace.
Better news, of course, is that Shake Shack is coming to Lansing.
Yes.
In the Frandor Shopping Center. Grand opening Wednesday, February 18th. Be one of the first in line on opening day at 10 a.m. and receive custom Shack swag. $1 from every burger and sandwich sold on opening day will be donated to the MSU Food Bank and Basic Needs Program. So you're doing good in the community, and I think that's cool that they're doing that. And just to have a Shake Shack here in town, I think is going to be absolutely incredible as well. And so we will have gift cards here for the our listeners takes of the day to Shake Shack, and we will be giving those out today. And
you'll be able to get Uber Eats. You live right around the corner down here, so you have to hide that from Elizabeth.
I think she'll be good about this. She's
she loves it. So she's she'll suffer through watching her husband.
Yeah, and if
drink
you
a milkshake through
I'm
his
telling
nose.
you, pull up their menu, right? I mean, Shake Shack is they serve like elevated versions of American classics, they say, and it is it looks like it, and it is using only the best ingredients, known for made-to-order 100% Angus beef burgers, crispy chicken, hand-spun milkshakes, house-made lemonades, beer, wine, and more. Shake Shack in Frandor opening on the 18th of this month, Wednesday, February 18th. And all right, you ready for these listener
Let's
takes?
do it. Eric Schultz up first. Number 1, great effing win. 2, this Wisconsin game isn't the biggest game they'll have played this year, but it'll be the most telling. And 3, Couch talks a lot about what should be on someone's tombstone. Every offensive football coach on the Wake Forest in 2019 and 2020 should have something about how they didn't realize what they had in Kenneth Walker. Absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah, I do wonder how Wake Forest did get some pub for Kenneth Walker during the Super Bowl, but I wonder what they think, because he went. I mean, that year he had in 2021, and the fact that he was just
They got pub? Wake Forest did?
Yeah, they brought him up, Collinsworth and Tirico, and the other thing that when we talk about D'Antonio's greatest wins of all time, maybe it's the Pinstripe Bowl. Maybe shutting down Kenneth Walker in Wake Forest in his final game was a greater achievement than we actually thought. To his to Eric's second point, this Wisconsin game isn't the biggest game that Michigan State will have played this year, but it'll be the most telling. In terms of, like, have you found yourself again? Are you back to who you were? Are you gonna continue to advance? There are some elements of that. I don't know if it'll be the most telling, because I think there were games earlier in the year that felt more telling. But in the moment, it might be. I think the way they rallied against Illinois was pretty telling. But it's a big game, and it's a big game that they're going to have quite a while to prepare for. You're talking Saturday night to Friday night. It's the 6-day window for them this year. And so, yeah, good stuff from Eric, who, by the way, wins a Shake Shack gift card coming Eric's way. Yeah, because not only do I appreciate the reference to the tombstone here, where I always think people who screw things up should have stuff on their tombstone, but I owe Eric the world at this point. So he wins a Shake Shack gift card.
Dominic next. Number one, it's almost halftime of the Super Bowl, and there hasn't been a touchdown. If there ends up being no touchdown, Couch has to do an entire week this July while Jason is on vacation with special co-host Alan Haller.
Yeah.
Monday to Friday, 2 hours per day. 2, way to jinx the Super Bowl, Couch. My W-word X scores more at a Muskegon rest stop than these teams. And 3, Trey Fort needs more time on the floor for MSU, plain and simple.
Trey Fort's going to have a game or two. We've seen it where he, late in the Minnesota game, he's had one game before that where I'm blanking on the exact game where he really came through for them. They would love it if Trey Fort became like a consistent threat offensively, because Trey Fort is the profile of the player that they need, right? He is a bucket getter. I just don't know that he's a bucket getter in the Big Ten, and that's unfortunately the miss on that. Now, maybe he'll show up. Maybe he'll have a great final month, and they could use it, because he's gonna get the opportunity now.
This Super Bowl means the Lions can 100% win one with Goff. This is the first time a Super Bowl champ went the whole playoffs without a turnover. Goff is more efficient than Darnold. Both the Lions and Seahawks have elite run games with Kenneth Walker and Gibbs. Just need to add speed to the D. But when Charbonnet was healthy, though, they were going to Charbonnet more. I feel like during the season, it was an interesting, that's why everybody wants to get rid of Montgomery, but I think you need, Montgomery, Gibbs, that 1-2 punch. Kenneth Walker was solo throughout the playoffs mostly, but
So I think Charbonnet's injury helped them in the playoffs. I think during the course of a season, they needed him, if that makes any sense. I think if the idea that they would have had less Kenneth Walker would not have helped them. He's just a more dynamic player, but Charbonnet's a better receiver and pass protector and that sort of stuff. And, yeah, you don't want to – I think that's a good comparison to those two. Yeah, you can win one with Goff, and this is one of those games where you see one quarterback play really poorly and the other guys just – I thought Darnold was solid, and he didn't turn the ball over, and he dealt with pressure in his face and a pretty good defense. The Seahawks defense and even the defense by the Patriots just feels like another world from what we've seen from the Lions recently. And I maybe that's only a few players away, but Lions,
Seattle goes out, they're kind of like Philly. They go out and get people they need.
Yeah.
They go get needs. They don't sit around and wait till it gets dire, and then you have to patchwork your offensive line in the offseason. You build upon it. Come on, Brad. Mojo Jojo, lukewarm take. This performance by Seattle should be enough evidence for Brad Holmes to fix the Lions' O-line with non-square parts in free agency and find a bookend defensive end in the draft. Cut to him drafting Sadiq in the first and extending Davenport 200 more a year. And from M, This Super Bowl should demonstrate to the Lions organization that they need to invest on the defense, namely pass rush and the line. Cannot win with the ghost of a defensive end opposite Hutch. Also, the guys they paid need to step up. And baked from Mojo Jojo. Roger Goodell is the most powerful ginger of all time. He's such a penis.
I had not thought of him in those terms, but
What, as a ginger?
Yeah,
or powerful?
Well, no, he's powerful. He's definitely powerful. You're the commissioner in the NFL. You've got some power behind him.
None of the owners are telling you what to do.
Yeah,
if you were powerful, you'd have say over the owners.
I
felt a dweeb.
I felt bad for the Patriots' offensive line. They're not very good, and
now you tell us all these Super Bowl bets.
I didn't know it was going to look like that.
Drake May, there's something up with that shoulder they were hiding too.
Yeah, 100%. It reminded me of like Connor Cook end of 2015 when he wasn't the same guy against Alabama and in the playoffs. And I don't think because you watched his long throws, they didn't sail that far. He didn't. I mean, he's a guy who has a good deep ball, and it didn't look like it.
Lions reply guy number 1: how many points would have the Lions won this Super Bowl by? Are the Patriots the worst Super Bowl team in your lifetime? I can't think of a less deserving team, to be honest. Seattle was legit, but I feel like New England was complete frauds. And 2, if the Lions made the Super Bowl and you had free tickets, would you go? I know that seems like a no-brainer, but to be honest, I feel like if the Lions were in it, I'd rather be at home with my spread and alone versus around other fans and corporate MFs. I say that for like pretty much anything, though.
Yeah.
I'd rather be at home with my setup than anywhere. But I think if you get free tickets to the Super Bowl, I'm going.
Yeah, it's
I definitely have to go.
I would have to be where the seats were. I'm sorry, I don't want
nosebleeds. Okay.
Well, yeah, I don't want to sit in the corner of row 600. I want to watch the game, and so there are seats. Now, I'm not saying every upper deck seat's bad. There are upper deck. Like I used to love sitting in the upper deck at the old Silverdome when Barry Sanders was playing, and you got to see him like. Just that angle, watching Barry
he
run
looked like a little ant.
It was, but it was just
from where you were.
Yeah, but it was still an incredible experience. There are upper decks, and some people tell you like hockey games, sitting upper deck behind the goalie is a great place. I'm not saying there aren't good seats all over the place. Yeah. There are, but it would depend on the seats.
For tickets that were free,
I would go. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Jack Devine next. I was in section 207 Saturday night at the Breslin Center. Couch, the flannel looked nice. Solari looked stressed and annoyed. Scott and Ward combo gives this team a legit boost and should see significant minutes the rest of the year. And baked. This is really a 7-man MSU team.
Appreciate you, Jack. Yeah, no. There's always going to be a little bit of a contrast between me and Solari because he's always stressed.
Graham.
And so, but when I add a Muskox flannel to the equation, it only he'd be a great wingman.
What is he so stressed about?
Just
what's the stress? What's going on?
Just everything.
Deadline. You're the one that has to do the quick takes.
The Wi-Fi not as good. Not being able to, where we sit now, it's harder to see things, and sometimes the Wi-Fi is not good, and we have our phones up. You can't get the replay quick enough. The little things like that. Doing the job. It's some of it's legitimate, some of it's just Solari. So it's a good mix. Yeah.
JC Wills next. Longtime listener, first time caller. Illinois was big and slow. Sparty game plan was to push the ball. Question: why doesn't Izzo press? I can't remember the last time I saw a heavy full court press from Sparty.
He just doesn't believe that that's a way to win. It doesn't help his defense. So the key to everything, granted, in defensive Izzo, they're like the number one, either top 5 defense in the country, right? So this is not, and he's in the Hall of Fame because of it, and they've won a lot because of it. And it's hard to get into that defense if you're pressing. It changes the dynamics. He's somebody who thinks like you can win games with full court presses, but you can't win championships. That's always been something he said. Like if you look at teams over time. So that's just sort of a belief of his. It just is. I can't tell you it's right or wrong. Robin Freilich, who's coaching the women's team, and they've I think done really well early on in her tenure, and she plays an exciting brand of pressing basketball. She clearly does not agree with that philosophy defensively, but they also get beat on the break a fair number of times, and they have some of their own defensive weaknesses. Every defense has its weakness. The way Izzo and Michigan State play, you're not going to put pressure on the ball that much. The way Robin Freilich and that Michigan State women's team play, you are vulnerable sometimes if people get over the press. And so there's...
Can you ask Tom about that, the next presser, why Robin Freilich does it and he doesn't?
Do you think Robin Freilich's a bad coach? Is that what you're saying, Tom? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe we can have Larry Lage ask that one.
Definitely.
Kurt Wisniewski, I love how Izzo shot down Larry Lage. Noted AP Blue Wall protagonist regarding the Fears issue. We need the Gannett media blasting the Blue Wall down. Fears is a talented, hard-nosed Spartan. He's taken his lumps for what he did and is not dirty.
Yeah, I mean, Lage is not a Blue Wall. He works for the Associated Press. Like, there's nothing more middle ground than that.
So, end of that story. Ask me another question. You won't get an answer.
And Larry and Tom have a long history to the point that Tom can say that to Larry, and Larry's still going to ask the next question, right?
So is that Larry's
Don't coach my team.
Nah. Well, I mean, a little bit, yeah. I mean, that's
Larry's.
It's not my favorite look from Izzo, though, because what it is and if you've been around, Larry, somebody like myself, Solari, people have been around are not going to be intimidated by that. But it's an intimidating tone. And younger reporters and other people,
I think it's your guys' faces, though.
We do have punchable faces.
When he
100%.
looks over the podium and sees you guys, I can understand.
That's why I wear the Muskox.
It's got to put you in a weird mood when you see Couch and Larry Lage and Human and Ebling. It's just like, fuck.
Combined chins,
Asking me these
34.
shit.
Combined people, 12. Yeah, that's not good.
I love that you throw other people's chins on your bit. Like, no one's asking for you to throw their chins on the bit.
You don't think Fred
We
Human
all
has
have
a couple,
47 chins.
You don't think Fred Human has a couple chins, too?
I mean,
Solari has a couple chins.
all of
Fred Human, yeah.
Oh, Freddie, he's got a couple for everyone. Kurt Wisniewski, do you guys think that Kenneth Walker winning the Super Bowl and the MVP is justice for his Heisman snub? And from Ben Schulich, K9 winning the Super Bowl MVP rekindles the anger of him not being in NYC for the Heisman ceremony. Sucks that K9 chose not to represent MSU in the NBC starting lineup intros. He is a free agent. Did he earn a big payday, or will he be screwed by the position he plays? And from Fear Spartans, Kenneth Walker was robbed of a Heisman.
I don't think he was robbed of the Heisman. He was robbed of being in New York. He should have been in New York. He earned it that year. And
yeah.
I mean, just statistically in the biggest stages, biggest games. And I know the game that year that probably hurt him, too, is he was injured. He had 5 carries for 25 yards against Ohio State. But he absolutely deserved to be there. And I don't think that's any question. It's embarrassing that he wasn't.
But on to the screwed by position he plays about a contract. I mean, Saquon Barkley, look what happened with him when they were trying to get rid of him and you needed him. The Eagles needed him. Could a team think that Kenneth Walker could be that guy for them as well?
And everything's timing. So what'll be interesting with Kenneth Walker getting paid is where the Seahawks are. They have a really young defense. And they have a quarterback, and this is what I was talking about with a guy like Jared Goff taking the $55 million. They have a quarterback who isn't being paid $55 million. So I don't know all their cap situation. They might have room for another contract because while you can draft running backs and you can get guys who are impact players and they're replaceable, and I get all that, there are guys who are hard to replace. Gibbs for the Lions would be hard to replace, the impact he does. And I think what Kenneth Walker showed, I mean, he was the MVP of the Super Bowl. And so if you've already won the Super Bowl and you feel like you've got a couple other staggered contracts, I don't know their situation. I think there's a chance he stays. It'll be interesting if somebody, because he's a Super Bowl MVP, because he looks so good, my guess is he gets a decent deal for a running back. But hang on, let me get the top running back deals right now.
By the way, Darnold's making $40 million.
Yeah, but that's still $15 million less than that.
Yeah, all right.
I am the passenger.
Really good penis. All right. So here are the top running back contracts per year right now on the average age. Saquon Barkley, $20 million, right? I think it's got 2 years left, or $41 million total value. Christian McCaffrey, $19 million. Derrick Henry, $15 million. Like, these guys they don't make a ton, and my guess is that he's below McCaffrey and Barkley, but in that Derrick Henry range, maybe at his age. I mean, he's 25? You're looking at Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor are like $14 million, $15 million. Maybe he gets something like that for a few years. They're not long-term deals, though. So maybe he gets a 3-year, $45 million deal tops. That would be a big deal for a running back in the NFL.
David Cox, number 1, took K9 for MVP. Bam. Hope he signs somewhere else where they value a top 3 running back in the game. And 2, Jeremy Fears was given an elbow to the jaw in that play they reviewed for his BS trip. Why wasn't this a flagrant and ejection? How do the refs miss this obvious intentional elbow? Well, David, I don't know if you know, but college refs are ass.
Yeah.
That's probably why they missed it.
I saw that Ant Wright went through the second half in overtime. Let me pull this up real quick here.
I ride through the city's backside.
Free Ubers.
Stars come out of the sky.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the bright in the hollow sky.
Come on.
So good tonight.
All right, so he went through the second half in overtime only and found 11 missed calls that would have benefited Illinois and only 5 that would have benefited Michigan State. But he said Illinois was way too physical off the ball. So, that's interesting. Now, that's, you get a home court whistle. That's everywhere. And Michigan State has benefited from playing a lot of these bigger games at home. They'll obviously play at Michigan. That's part of what the home court is. It's not just the crowd and the momentum that the players feel. It's the crowd and the momentum that officials feel. And the best officials can really stand up to that. But often, they miss calls more often against the road team, and that just happens. But they did miss, I thought, a fair number of calls. It's a hard job. I don't think they're out to get anybody. They missed a number of calls in this game.
Hey, high knees.
Yeah, it was not.
Your mom's a whore. Max, number 1, the blue wall has gotten so high and thick that Ann Arbor's Trust Blue, Mike Tirico, and Chris Collinsworth were crediting Wake Forest for Kenneth Walker's abilities, dissing MSU. Don't tell me that it doesn't exist. And 2, Cam Ward is becoming someone that we will be talking about for years to come. Nobody is having more fun than him right now. His play Saturday night spoke for itself, but it was his reactions from the bench that caught my attention. He was really into it, and I've got to think that his excitement is infectious. Future captain.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite people to talk to in the locker room. Actually, Cam Ward and Jordan Scott both are just like.
Did he ask you if you ever played ball?
He has never.
That's
done
usually
that.
what it takes. That's all you got to do is ask Couch his thoughts on something.
It was. I was.
You look like a guy that played ball.
I do not, but I was interviewing Kurt Tang in the locker room on Saturday night, and as I was leaving, Lindsey Huddleston came up. Some of you might know Lindsey, and he said, "Was that a question for one shooter?"
For the people at home that don't know Lindsey Huddleston, though, tell them who Lindsey Huddleston is.
Well, he's sort of a quasi media member. He is. I mean, he's in all the press conferences, but he's asking very more psychological.
Is that on his Twitter
sports.
bio?
No, but it's not. That's not really. He's not there to ask the same questions necessarily we are, if that makes any sense. Anyway, he was like, "Was that from one shooter to another?" That question. I was like, "Yeah, definitely." But anyway, sorry. I'm just.
What a long way to go.
Yeah, that's
quasi.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, no, to Cam Ward, to the point there, he is somebody who's got just great energy. He's always excited to talk about things. I hope he doesn't lose that because I think that you see it on the floor too. He's into people. He's excitable, and that translates. And he had 2 plays. He had a dunk over a 7'2" guy. And then he went through a guy's chest to score in the post over a 7'2" guy. And like those 2 plays, he also had a guy where he fouled a 3-point shooter, as he made a 3, and he said that was just a miscommunication. And then he got there late. But those 2 plays on offense, I think, really speak to who he can be physically as a player. And he just got to trust it. Now he said he still feels the wrist. He's going to be the rest of the year. He's going to have to deal with it a little bit. So he's not 100% the player he was at the beginning of the year in terms of, just being healthy. And I think that greatly affects his shot. I think we might have seen, 15, 18-footers by now if he had been healthy all year. I do not think you're going to see him attempt shots very often, if at all, from beyond, or around the rim. But, yeah, no, he's a huge part of what they can still become because he's athletic. He's confident. He's a guy who can score in multiple ways. And they need him. They need the best of him. They need the version of him they got against Illinois.
Brad and Ada next. Spartan fans, the portal and mercenary transfers have ruined everything I love about college sports. And also, Spartan fans, Kenneth Walker is the greatest MSU football player of all time. Go Seahawks.
Everybody is a hypocrite. We're all walking contradictions. And there are, I do think, though, and Brad, this is a good point. But you can enjoy a single transfer. You can enjoy somebody who's a good addition to your team. There were transfers long ago. People got excited when Mike Chappelle was coming from Duke to join the Michigan State team in the 90s. You remember that? Like there
The
have
whole
been
Joey Hauser thing.
Yeah, it used to be
Holy
exciting.
shit.
You were getting a transfer. There's nothing wrong with it.
That was frustrating. The Hauser thing was frustrating, though. It wasn't exciting. The fact that he had to sit out that whole
Yeah,
time.
the way, yeah.
Anyway.
But so you can feel both these things. You can be excited by a transfer, and of course you can be excited when anybody helps your team. I think that's without question. But you can also think that it is not helping the sport, and it certainly isn't helping the sport long term. But no, well said.
Fear Spartans next. The kicker MVP might have actually been a decent call by Couch. If he meant it, if he bet it, if he gave some sort of analysis following it, he was just rooting for ass, though.
Nonetheless, Fear Spartans, you win a Shake Shack gift card. Stand for something good with Shake Shack like this take from Fear Spartans. The kicker MVP might have actually been a decent bet. I'm telling you right now.
Now it's just going to be people kissing your ass for a Shake Shack.
No, that's not going to work. It only worked to a point. This definitely.
It'll work again. Try it in a week.
Yeah, it might work. And so the grand opening, as we mentioned, Wednesday, February 18th, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can line up, be there, enjoy it. But also the day before, the friends and family opening, and you have to RSVP. We will put the link out there if you'd like to do that and reserve a time slot for the above link. That's sort of their last day of training. Shake Shack in East Lansing. So it's technically in East Lansing on East Saginaw Street at Frandor. They're going to be open 10 a.m. to midnight, Sunday through Thursday, and Fridays and Saturdays 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. at Shake Shack in Frandor.
Richard Kane next. The MVP should have been the entire Seahawks defense. And bonus, a limerick about a long ago incident in Chicago. There once was a man named Graham who swore, "I didn't do it, no, never before. Though a tumble downstairs raised a few curious stares, he insists it was fate, nothing more."
This is well done, Richard. But here's the problem. I think the lore of what happened in this incident
is the limerick.
The limerick's fantastic.
Yeah. I actually did one last night at halftime. I'm like, hey, forget Bad Bunny, guys. You guys want to hear a limerick? And they all threw shit at me. So I don't know. I tried.
It didn't happen in Chicago, and I didn't do it. So those two things.
Oh, this is about the gay guy you killed?
I would see. That's not what happened at all.
I'm sorry. When I was reading it, I wasn't even like
the Chicago story is the time I was on the phone with my Irish exchange student girlfriend, and who lived in Chicago at the time.
Why does it matter what her nationality was?
That's fair enough. And it was back when you had like a flip phone too. This is like we're talking 2002, flip phone, cell phone.
Yeah.
And I'm a little inebriated. 22 years old, and two guys are walking down the street near Diversey and Pine Grove in Chicago. Some of you may know where that is. And I just told those guys to shut the F up. I'm on the phone. And one of them decked me on top of a car.
That guy gets a gift card.
That guy should, yeah.
Wherever you are, dude.
Yeah.
I will buy you Shake Shack wherever you are.
The gentleman who's no longer with us is somebody who died falling downstairs in Kalamazoo years and years later, and I had nothing to do with it. But he had hit on me at some point. So that's just to bring clarity. We have new sponsors who are probably listening right now going, the hell is this? What the hell is this show? So, I mean, that's all. Yeah.
He's innocent. Yeah. Riley, Arkma. Izzo's open locker room policy may just be what allows Jeremy Fears to climb out of the media's slander pit from this last week. Very impressed with how Jeremy answered questions about his recent play post-Illinois. And bonus, I think Cohen could jump over Couch standing on his two broken chairs.
Probably, yeah. I mean, Zion was a big deal because he was a huge guy, and I just broke my chair. Not like sweet the national championship's on. Oh, I can't wait for this. It just happens. I just broke my chair for real. This is not good. The snap in the second one's even better, I think. It's to the first part of this. I do think the open locker room is one of the better things that Izzo does, because a couple things. One, it makes things It makes things that could linger and be multiple day stories, week stories, sort of answered in that moment. Like, if you want to drag a story on, or you want to make, beyond this, well, you weren't there in the locker room. Everybody else is he's had his chance to speak. He speaks quickly. There are a lot of programs that would not have Jeremy Fears available in this sort of setting. And it would be like 3 weeks from now, and then you'd have to bring it up when it wasn't even the story. It gets brought up now. And these guys are grown men at this point. I know they're college kids. They're making a fair amount of money at this point. And this is the stuff that you have to be able to deal with in life. And so the players do. And it's not just fears here. I'm talking about every time somebody loses, they miss a shot, they don't do something great. They are accountable for it fairly quickly because the locker room's open. The practices before games, every player is available. Like that stuff makes a difference. And I think it helps the program. And it obviously helps media and fans because you guys get stories that other programs just don't get.
Matt, next. This MSU Hoops team showed what the ceiling of the squad can be on Saturday. Thought it was the best our fast break looked all year. I'm worried Fear's stamina becomes an issue playing so many minutes down the stretch. And bonus, Super Bowl halftime was excellent.
Did you watch the Bad Bunny?
Oh, you watched the Kid Rock one, Matt? Is that what you're talking about? No, I had my own halftime show going on.
What was that?
I was smoking a joint and listening to my own music.
Okay.
While everybody else was eating in the kitchen. I couldn't imagine getting mad or getting that worked up about the halftime show.
I can't either.
I don't give a shit. It's not for me anymore. I'm going to be 47 years old in April. These things are not meant for me anymore. I went and had my own Super Bowl, came back out, the game was on. I was like, oh, all right. Bad Bunny, I don't give a shit. I don't know his music. I don't celebrate his music. I'm not into that stuff, but people are cool.
I listen to a podcast at halftime. I think it might have been like a tennis betting podcast, or it might have been like it might have actually been a soccer podcast over the weekend. It was
last night. You don't remember?
And
what were you getting into?
And then I watched it on mute while I watched the halftime. So that's.
So you hate Bad Bunny? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say that. No, it seemed like great energy. It seemed like people were into it. It seemed like a good show. It was well choreographed. All that stuff.
People lose their shit, dude.
It's amazing.
Come on, like, all right.
It's amazing. I mean, he's like what, one of the more popular people in the world. He doesn't seem offensive. Yeah, I don't.
Sings in Spanish. It's like, all right.
I don't really understand it.
Yeah. Matt Salisbury. Number one, it looked like Kohler traveled on that rebound kick to Tang. 2, don't know what Bad Bunny was saying, but it was a vibe. And 3, too many commercials with close-up of butts to watch with my 6-year-old.
So I got some beefs with commercials. Couple of beefs. One, the Super Bowl is, man, it does drag. I
don't remember any of the commercials.
Yeah, I mean,
there was butts.
You know what's even worse is the Olympics right now with commercials. If you're watching Peacock, and they will cut away in like the middle of the ice dancing, like in the middle of a routine, to local commercials about. There's one that was like just deja vu, and then there was another that kept playing that was like bra sales, and it was like it would start with like two
women need bras,
2 footballs as breasts, and then it was soccer balls as breasts or something like that. But it just kept cutting to it, and I'm just saying like a couple things. One, wait till there's a break in the action. I don't know what's going on there. Number 2, like. I agree with Matt, though, that you have to, with the Super Bowl and the Olympics and some of these events, you have to be aware of your audience, man. It's young. Like, the things we say on this show, if we knew we had a lot of 6-year-olds listening, we would tamp it down. We would ask them not to listen. But we would do it.
But a 6-year-old can't see an ass cheek? I mean, is it really going to ruin their life? I mean, you know what I mean? I don't remember seeing ass. I mean, I don't know. I saw my dad do cocaine at a Super Bowl party in '87.
Wait a second. What?
Yeah, it was at the Sheraton. It was for Denver. What Super Bowl was 80? What was the Denver one? But it was back in the 80s, and there was coke there. And dude, it's not. I'm just saying. We're worried about butt cheeks. I understand, Matt. You're a good parent. You're a good parent, man. I appreciate good parents.
Think about some of the decisions you made in your 20s. They might have been tied to you seeing your dad do cocaine at the Super Bowl.
I've never done cocaine.
But you ran a failed sports book. You spent time in jail.
What does that have to do? Yeah, dude, I thought back. I'm like, you know what, my dad do cocaine. I think I could run a sports book. They don't have anything to do with each other. I'm just an idiot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a good human being still.
I agree.
I'm just a dummy. I don't mean to hurt anybody. Anyway, Matt, you're a good parent. I like good parents. I'm just saying, I think we worry about kids too fucking much here. Mr. Benjen, a Super Bowl twofer. Number 1. Wow. Kenneth Walker set a Super Bowl record with first half yards. He's now above Le'Veon Bell in MSU back history. And 2, this Super Bowl is Couch's wet dream. 4 field goals and no touchdowns. And baked. I never ordered porn on TV like Jason or 100 sports packages like Couch. Instead, I called the 1-900 number for the box and ordered mostly naked women in music videos like Oaktown's 357 for $1. 99 a pop, 99 cents a pop. Desperate times. I remember those videos, but I did not know how to get to them. I would have told I was not above that, but I just, for 99 cents for a video, I was trying to get porn. So, but yeah, those were pretty much pornos, music videos.
The Kenneth Walker, where he is in MSU history for running. Well, there are a lot of different things you have to evaluate if you're going to rank people. One is just what is your criteria? Like if your criteria is who they were at MSU in that moment, that's one thing. If their careers afterwards matter, like in basketball, who Magic Johnson became, obviously, and football, what they did beyond that, and like Kirk Cousins obviously elevates because of who he's been.
Sounds like a July column for you.
It is, yeah. No, but I think Kenneth Walker has been above Le'Veon, period, just because of what he meant to that season. Le'Veon was unbelievable.
Is it because of Le'Veon's OnlyFans thing now?
Well, Le'Veon is
dropping him a couple notches.
Le'Veon has not helped himself. If you're evaluating their post-football situation into the whole mix, then Le'Veon has not helped himself lately. Yeah.
Can we separate the two? Let's do that. Neurotic Pants. Number 1, Kenneth Walker aroused long dormant memories of successful MSU football, among other things. Are you saying you got a rod? Is that what he said? 2, if MSU's slide was limited to 2 losses, then MSU might still have a contender, said in a Brooklyn accent. Contender.
It was only 2. Oh, I see. If this is it, like if they're back at it, I don't think they can win the Big Ten just because I think Michigan and Illinois are. I mean, maybe Michigan State goes perfect the rest of the way. What will be interesting is would they be able to get to a point where they're playing Michigan on that last day for something at stake? I don't think they will be able to, and I'm not saying there's nothing at stake because you're playing for seeding, and that would be a huge win. Huge win. That might be worth a full seed line to win at Michigan. But in terms of the big, I would be surprised if they're still in the Big Ten race on that last day. By the way, maybe we ought to give people in a sport that pretty openly gives people CTE. Maybe we should not judge post-career behaviors. That's a possibility that we ought to be able to separate.
Well, somewhat. You can't be a complete dickbag.
Well, yeah, no.
Like some of it you can get away with. And Antonio Brown. It's like, come on. Like, I get it.
You're O.J. Simpson. Right, yeah, we have to judge that.
O.J., what did he do wrong? No? T-Bone's dad, Illinois' Jake Davis might look like a coked-out drummer from a 90s grunge band, but that dude had Dan Campbell-sized onions to make those game-tying free throws.
Yeah, and they took a timeout in between everything. That was
he had the swag going in. Like when they called the timeout, he had that like, I don't care, call a timeout, and I was like, damn, he's gonna hit this.
Yeah, he's that's the guy you want on the line at the end. That was
credit.
Absolutely impressive.
C-Dubs 91 hot. Offenses should be allowed to add time back to the game clock on a defensive penalty after the 2-minute warning. And baked. Free throws shouldn't count toward the end of year awards, honors, or scoring totals. So get rid of them? Get rid of free throws?
No, you'd have them. They just don't count towards
anything.
Anything, right? Oh, they count towards the game, but they don't count towards like personal stats or award. I don't agree with that because getting the line is part of the game. So offenses in football should be allowed to add time back on the clock on a defensive penalty after the 2-minute warning. I don't hate that. Or you have the choice, yards or clock. I wouldn't hate that. Late in the game, like you get an offsides call that's 5 yards, and you can
depends on which way my bet's going at the time.
That's true. But outside of gambling, I wouldn't hate that. I think that is an interesting idea. And for that, C-Dubs, Shake Shack gift card going.
Are you giving away all of them?
No, not all of them. But this
day,
Shake Shack is worth it. We are going to give them away next week as well. It's Shake Shack serves delicious, made-to-order, 100% Angus beef burgers, crispy chicken, hand-spun milkshakes, beer, wine, and more using only the best ingredients. If you've never been to a Shake Shack, and many of you have, you know what I'm talking about. You can check out their menu online. And their grand opening in Lansing, Wednesday, February 18th in Frandor. And it's 10 a.m. And if you are part of the first group that is there, first 100 guests in line when the doors open will receive a limited edition Shack beanie. Very cool on the grand opening date. Next Wednesday, February 18th, 10 a.m. Frandor Shake Shack.
Scotty Green's El Camino. What was shaping up to be a bad week turned for the better this weekend. Hockey looked great in the win. Hoops won a great game against a really good Illinois team. And my Kenneth Walker MVP bet cashed out. And Portnoy got the day he deserved on Sunday. And bonus, I had to put my blue wall bias aside and read John U. Bacon. Oh, excuse me, Jesus, I can't say his name without puking. Aside and read John U. Bacon's The Gales of November. It's really well done and researched. Chronicles every aspect and really gives tribute to the crew and who they were.
I have heard good things about it. People have asked me about it. At some point, I'll read it because I love shipwrecks, and not that I want them to happen, but I'm just saying I love shipwreck history.
Like the Titanic?
Well, yeah, no, my wife's favorite movie is the Titanic. There was a Titanic exhibit in Grand Rapids at one point when we were just dating. Like, this is like back before I put on the weight, back when I really would have looked good in a Muskox flannel. But Muskox wasn't around back then. This is like 2012, 13. And anyway, I can't tell you this part because she'll get mad. Well, I will anyway.
What, she give you a hand job in the fucking?
No. She has a replica Heart of the Ocean necklace that was worn in that movie that she wore when we went to the exhibit.
Yeah, you're right. She doesn't want you telling her.
I'm sorry. I should not bring that up. Anyway, it was really cool. You got to keep in mind her age. I mean, she's a little bit younger than me, so she was like 10 when Titanic came out.
Huh? When did you guys start dating?
Not for like 20 years later.
The fuck is this?
I'm sorry.
Everybody's secrets are coming out on the show today.
It's the worst.
A replica, huh?
Yeah. No. Anyway. Yeah. But shipwrecks. God dang it. I would recommend anybody who goes to Munisingers in the UP. There's a shipwreck, glass bottom shipwreck tour that's very cool to do, where they like go over the shipwrecks. You can look at this. Very cool to do. Anyway, let's move on.
I like how you went full Coach K though. I was like, did she give you a HJ? No. Like, all right, man, calm down. It's natural. Scotty Green's El Camino. What was shaping up to be a bad? Would I read that? No. What was shaping up to be fuck. Janet in Metro Detroit. Does this weekend's Detroit News editorial have any merit regarding MSU secrecy with Greg Williams' gift and private equity buying Spartan Athletics, or is this the blue wall catnip?
Well, I think it's fair to raise, and they also, by the way, had I believe they had a editorial also that involved Michigan, and sort of leading up to Michigan men and legacy. No, it's
on the back page.
No, I had to go find both of them because I didn't see them initially till I saw her question here or take here, and I think there are legitimate questions. Like the idea of media in news organization is to hold power to account. And if you are a public university and you are doing something like changing the entire system for which the athletic department is going to be operating, and some of that's going to be done out of the public eye, I think it's very fair to question that, and that's what's happening. And that those questions are legitimate, and will you're going to see lots of outlets have at this point asking those questions until they're answered to the best in the best way they can be. And the fact that the Board of Trustees members, like them or not, have basically come out and said they're a little uncomfortable with things, that's only going to fuel this. That's just the way it is. That's not blue wall stuff at all.
Skylar Verdon, hot take: MSU shouldn't have announced the $400 million donation publicly. Now every fan is frustrated that we aren't buying a championship roster for football and basketball every year. And after every loss, we will hear, where did the money go? Well, stop listening to those people. Stop reading what those people say.
Well, in a couple things, the $400 million, a lot of that is going to some major projects like the stadium and things that they're trying to do this $1 billion campaign, right, in athletics. And so some like $100 million of it is going to Spartan Ventures, which is going to, as it begins this spring, fund things going forward. But you're right, I don't think all of it's been explained that well. Some of it is on MSU, some of that's probably on us, and in terms of where things go and what expectations should be, it does create this, like, why don't you have a defensive tackle now mentality, but that's going to happen. If you don't have that donation, people are going to keep thinking you're broke, too, or if you don't tell people, I think you're in a rock and a hard place. And somebody gives you $400 million, you want to honor them, and they did that with Greg and Don Williams.
It's so chill. Izzo's no longer got to go. Just listen to Friday's show. What a bunch of hand-wringing, whining Nancys. What is your profession? Every time you wonder about them, they deliver this fan base sometimes. And bonus, I'm not listening to one thing Solari says until you get him a muskox.
It is time to get Chris Solari a muskox. There's no question. I think I will buy the man a muskox. And when I do, when I at gomuskox.com,
you guys going to wear it to the game together?
Absolutely. I will use the promo code Peacock for $15 off my flannel purchase. And there's some really cool stuff out right now. Some of the latest offerings, a limited run of the Grand Flannel, and what is it called? This color, pine. Pine is the one I want to get. I've been looking at for a little while, and I think I don't know if I want to buy it for Solari because I want this one, but I'll pick one for Solari. Get Solari, and if you have a Solari in your life, buy them a Muskox flannel. They'll feel better. Their blood pressure will come down. They'll look better. Let them be the best version of themselves. Go to gomuskox.com, and, of course, use the promo code Peacock for $15 off. Let's take a really quick break. When we come back, many more of your takes. And at the end, for the real diehards, the leftover Groovy Donut Twitter questions from last Friday that we didn't get to. Couch in the Rube, our Monday show presented by our friends at Muskox Quality Flannels.
Where else can you cheer on your team, enjoy a mouth-watering burger or savory sushi, sip on handcrafted cocktails, or one of 46 beers on tap? Take your game day or date night to Cask & Company Kitchen Bar or Front 43 Neighborhood Pub near Frandor. 2 amazing places with one awesome blended modern American-Asian menu. Catch the game on one of 30 60-inch TVs or stop in for the all-you-can-eat lunch buffet. Enjoy happy hour or elevate your night out at Cask & Company or Front 43 on East Saginaw in Lansing. Ever wonder how comfortable you can be and how good you can look? Put on a Muskox flannel and find out. Muskox has new arrivals for this fall, including the Caper Green Grand Flannel, which even makes couch look good. Muskox is a Detroit-based flannel company that creates soft and durable flannels made to last a lifetime. They become a great partner with Couch in the Rube, not just because they make us look good and feel good, but because they're good people too, and a socially conscious company. For every $100 purchase, $10 is donated to the Alaska Wildlife Conservation. Muskox flannels are designed with 100% cotton that is ethically sourced and double brushed for softness. Feel the quality and comfort of a Muskox flannel by ordering at gomuskox.com, where Couch in the Rube listeners can enjoy $15 off their flannel purchase with the promo code HOFF. Come enjoy irresistible, award-winning, handcrafted donuts and locally roasted coffee at Groovy Donuts. Surprise your family or coworkers with special holiday designs and flavors, or put the perfect finishing touch on an event with a custom order. Birthdays, weddings, gender reveals, our friends at Groovy Donuts are your answer. Experience the Groovy Donuts difference for yourself on Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing or in Williamston. Get more information or place an order at groovydonuts.com. If you're looking for a relaxed vibe, great food, and an outstanding beer selection, Midtown Brewing Company in downtown Lansing is your place. Enjoy their famed chicken and waffle fries, fish and chips, or any of their delicious burgers or salads. Midtown Brewing Company also offers 40-plus beers on tap, including ciders and seasonal offerings and daily happy hour specials. The spacious and cozy vibe makes Midtown Brewing Company a perfect place for a beer with a friend, a work lunch, or to watch the games on its big screen TVs. If you'd rather eat at home, Midtown Brewing Company offers a terrific carryout menu and free delivery on orders of $20 or more. Visit MidtownBrewingCompany.net or stop by 402 South Washington in downtown Lansing for the Midtown Brewing Company experience.
Please like and subscribe to the Couch in the Rube YouTube channel. Also download podcast episodes wherever you get your podcasts. For sponsorship opportunities, email Jason at couchandtherube.com.
Couch in the Rube, our Monday show presented by our friends at Muskox Quality Flannels. Go Muskox.com. Peacock for $15 off your flannel purchase. Got a text from Matt Drolette, our friend here. The Seahawks have $77 million in cap space going into next season. So maybe Kenneth Walker sticks. I mean, you win a Super Bowl, you want to run back as much as you can. I mean, it takes some of the pressure off some things. I started thinking about life as a Seahawks fan, how great that must be right now. If the Lions were in this, there's so much pressure. Like, everything's fun next year. All right, you play it back as defending champions. I mean,
next year,
right now.
For years to come.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
fuck it. I retire.
Yeah, just such a good.
Yeah,
good.
I'm happy for you, Matt.
Good place to be.
No high fives, but I'm happy for you, I guess. John Johnson, it's basically July topic season, but Graham, since you claim not to be a fan of MSU, but rather storylines, what's a better storyline from your perspective? Izzo winning his second natty or Michigan winning it? And bonus, next time you do a Jason show where he answers the questions, and can you also flip the live read openings to him? We want a complete reversal. Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I
do that.
think we'll only go so far.
That's what couch is for. Yeah, we've done the flipping of the question.
We'll do that at some point. That's a fun. I really enjoy that. It's one of my favorite things to do. We've done that sometimes at live shows too. I don't know. It's a good. Your voice though is the key to the read. I mean, I don't really have the. I sound more like Bill Beekman.
Oh yeah, Billy B. Yeah. Oop, wait, hold on. I got Billy B.
Jason, do you think that Bill Beekman?
Yeah, Beeks. He was at the game.
I saw a picture
Saturday.
of him. Yeah.
You didn't talk to him?
I did not see. I saw a picture of him. I did not see him while I was at the game. I did not talk to him. I did not talk to the picture. Yeah.
Bill Rawls of Southern Maine next. Listening to Graham talk about how he hides groovy donuts is cringe. You're a grown-ass man. Be a man and own eating groovy donuts. If you're ashamed of eating them, maybe you shouldn't do it. Either be a man and eat them with your whole chest, or don't do it at all.
Well,
it's the only thing I agree with Couch about, to be honest with you. Like, it's one of his better takes, because it actually does work if you cut up the groovy donuts, and it makes you feel like,
We all do adulting differently. Yeah. It's one of the things I have. Anyway, do you know who the Bill Rawls is when he says the Bill Rawls is? You know who Bill Rawls is?
I know Lou Rawls.
Bill Rawls is the character
Tum
from The Wire, who played one of the head police guys, Bill Rawls. Anyway.
Oh, okay. See, I zone with his because I just think it's all like from
Les Mis.
Yeah,
so
I just didn't.
I do appreciate his Les Mis. I went down a Les Mis rabbit hole on Instagram.
Ooh, did you?
Yeah, it was big.
Two hands?
It was on the plane home from Minneapolis. It was,
Wow.
The guy next to me was like, well, this guy's a real man.
Yeah. This guy probably eats donuts whenever he wants. Professor, even if Fears never had another technical foul called on him, he won't be able to outrun the narrative. And bonus, it should be illegal to celebrate half birthdays. Went to watch the MSU game at a friend's house, and his wife busted out a store-bought cake for their child's half birthday with candles and the song. What the fuck?
That's a bit much.
Wait, during the game? The game was on at like 8 o'clock, wasn't it?
First of all, right, half birthdays are not.
What is a half birthday?
You can recognize it. It's half the year. Like, so,
my birthday's in April. What do I do?
So 6 months later, on your birthday would be your half birthday, half the year.
Never, no. Who started this?
Well, when you were a kid, didn't people ask you how old you were? You say like 5.5, 6.5, 8.5. That's what it is. 6 and
I just like, wait, today's not my birthday? What happened? Yeah, no, I don't. No, there was no half birthday. Ever.
Yeah, no. Half birthdays are not something you shouldn't encourage it. You shouldn't. It's not.
I wonder these kids are soft. They're getting 2 birthdays.
The only reason to do it here would be the counter, but it's only for certain ages. If it's a reason to get together for adult, like a first birthday is not about the kid. Like when a kid turns 1, that is about the adults.
So just get together, you fucking weirdos. Why do you have to have a fake half birthday for your kid? We're worried about a kid seeing ass cheeks on a commercial, but we're giving half birthdays out.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Aiden's, sorry, I'm hungry. I have to do the clear liquids all day.
It's going to be. We'll tell you though, tomorrow you'll feel like you have a fresh start on life afterwards.
So what does that tell you about what we put in our bodies?
It's not
because everybody's been telling me that. Like, listen, your body's going to feel like it's transformed. I'm like, all right, so maybe I should start tomorrow and like not throw all this junk in my body.
And how quickly you fall asleep, I want anesthesia every night before I go to bed.
Yeah, Michael Jackson had it. Like he knew what he was doing. It's just you can't do it all the time.
Right, it's not good for you. Right.
Yeah,
very very good point.
Your first time though, that's what you thought of though. How great it was.
I mean, I was just asleep. I was out. I felt fantastic when I came back. Got a good report. I don't have to go back for 10 years.
Man, you should take a Vicodin sometime. It really will get you. Aiden's child, number 1, Couch showed great restraint by not posting about his no TDs prop bet prior to the first touchdown.
Thank you.
Because it was embarrassing. 2, how is it possible that the best player on both Super Bowl teams were Spartans, and yet we didn't win a natty?
One was a punter.
K9.
Right?
K9 and Bryce Behringer. You put this in here. You wouldn't let me get to it.
Sorry.
3, nothing more satisfying this weekend than watching the duel in the D take down live, followed by the OT thriller over the Fighting Illini. And no, it didn't. It did not look like an intentional trip.
The Jeremy Fears trip. Yeah, I thought it was initially, and then the more I watched, I mean, I knew what he was trying to do. He was trying to have the guy run into him, and that's a play that Cassius Winston used to do. Lots of guys do it. His leg was a little extended, and that's where he went over. I know there were some other people there who were closer to it who thought it was that. The ref certainly talked about it for a long time. It wasn't like it was an obvious thing for them. And so that, I think that the amount of time it took after the replay for them to basically say they couldn't prove that he was doing that tells you that they weren't 100% sure as well. And so Fears is going to have to be he's just going to have to be aware of that. And I think some of his instincts are he's going to have to be careful of. Some of his instincts are to stick that leg out a little bit.
Alan Pearlstein, Spartan Basketball is giving Fox huge ratings every time they're put on Friday or Saturday night.
Yeah, they've done well for them. And the Big Ten should, frankly, be grateful for MSU basketball, too, because, this is part of the TV deal, and this is...
I'm grateful for Benetti. So I have to listen to Gus Johnson. Because I was like, oh, shit, it's on Fox. I'm going to have to listen to Gus Johnson. Then when you see it's Benetti, you're like, all right.
Do they not know that Gus isn't good anymore? That's what I don't understand. Like it
isn't that he's not good. Yeah. He's just too weird. Well, I think like he still does it. I understand,
but I mean, like weird, you're not good.
Understood.
Okay.
I just think that's a bigger part of it than his talent, because he used to be fun to watch and listen to. Right? We used to be like, oh, Gus Johnson's the man. Like what, 10 years ago, 12?
Yeah, at least.
And then it just started getting, he's crying at a Bo statue, hugging it, and fucking. Then you're like, what? Yeah. Izzo for Prez. If Michigan makes a deep tournament run, does Krusty May get an NBA offer? If so, does he take it?
I don't know. I've heard people who think he might. He's obviously a young guy, so the question is, are you a lifer at the school you're at now? He has not early on built the program in a way that suggests he's looking to build something that's... I'm not saying what he's doing isn't sustainable.
It's tough to say no about a coach going to the NBA, though, with the contracts some of those guys get, right? And you get fired and you can go away.
Well, and two, he's building year and year to win big now. And I'm not saying that's the wrong approach, even if you want to stay at a school 20 years. But I'm just saying, that's the sort of you do that, you get noticed real quick. You win if he won a national title at Michigan, do I think he'd be back shortly after if he had a good offer in the NBA? I don't know. And the other thing these guys have to be careful with is a lot of the NBA jobs aren't good. So you have to find a place where you have the right ownership and the right leadership. But I do not see him as a lifer necessarily. But maybe I'm reading that situation wrong.
All right, Jonathan Smith's burner. Number 1, the common cold is the most annoying thing ever invented. Aw, shucks. 2, the AFC is the NFL version of the SEC. Great on paper with lots of hypothetical wins. And bonus, not a take, but I am traveling to Boston this weekend. Any recommendations?
I haven't spent a ton of time in Boston as an adult. Have you? Have you been there many times?
I went with Michigan fan Jordan's bachelor party was there.
Okay. Any recommendations? Anything you remember?
No, dude, I don't travel like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't write stuff down. I travel. Everything, being a dumb guy, everything is great,
I'm the wrong person for Boston. I will say this. If you're somebody who's been to Chicago a lot, and so you look at a map of like the L in Chicago, the subway there, and you see, okay, this stop is here and this stop is here. I need to get on here and take 2 stops. And then you get to Boston where they have the T. Those stops on the T are actually Boston's a much smaller city. They're actually, you can walk. You don't need to get on the train. That's the one thing. That's my memory from Boston is waiting 15 minutes to get on a train stop, getting off the train stop, and then being able to see where I got on. Like it's just a much smaller thing, but you don't realize that at the scale of the map. That would be my only advice. So you might be able to walk it faster than you can take the train. That's my memory.
Two guys giving no recommendations.
There you go.
There you go, man. Max Spade. Sam Darnold is the new Joe Flacco and baked. Ilya Melanin is better at his sport than anyone else on the planet right now. I missed my jump combo in a gold medal program. I'll just improvise a never tried before combo later in my program to make up the difference. Is that the quad father guy?
He's a figure skater.
Yeah, the quad father.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
He was flipping out. He did a flip. She was losing her shit in the kitchen there.
So. I've enjoyed the Winter Olympics so far. I don't know. I don't always get into them. It's very hit and miss.
What did you enjoy? What are you enjoying?
I've enjoyed.
Seems like they're not in full swing yet.
They're not entirely. But I've watched some hockey. I've watched some ice dancing, and I've watched some skiing, and then also the one where the snowboarding where they do the flips off the thing. Not all of it. I'm just saying it's entertaining.
So when you watch the ice dancing, does it have your undivided attention, or are you like doing other things? When we have the Olympics on, I'm not going to be.
I would say it's 50. Yeah, it's not. Right? It's not entirely my. It's not like I'm not going to walk to the treadmill on it. If that's what you're asking.
That's what we are all wondering.
You're
wondering what you do on the treadmill.
By the way, recommendations for Boston is a muskox flannel. If you're going to go to Boston, bring muskox to Boston. There you go.
The no recommendations, and then a minute after the question, give them Flannel live read. Alex Mayer, number one, Izzo has really been talking about his appreciation for the fan base and other staff members this season. Makes me feel like he sees the end of the road coming and he's getting somewhat nostalgic. And two, I really like the Illinois team to make a deep March run.
I think they're really good. I do too.
How about Brad Underwood just going to Europe and just grabbing any guy with the last name Vitch?
Yep. Yeah, no,
why not? I'm surprised more guys aren't doing it.
When he's found the right, what's interesting is, he tried to do some of this last year and he didn't have the right freshman guard, and it didn't work. And this is why even at Michigan it's hard to do this year for year. Everybody thought last year's Illinois team was going to be amazing, and they kind of trailed off and they didn't have the right goods to them. And this year's team looks like it has it, and it's a lot of new guys. Not entirely. You get some guys back, and that sweat equity helps and all that. But that's the hard thing about what Dusty May's trying to do at Michigan. He's obviously hit this year. Last year's team was good but not great, and maybe he'll be able to build on this with the type of guys. First of all, some come back and who he's able to recruit and lure. But like I think it's a really hard way to build year to year.
Moneybag. The Divine Ugochukwu injury is going to suck if Jeremy Fears gets worn down, but Jordan Scott getting thrown into the fire a bit more is going to be great for this and for MSU. Bonus, or for him and MSU. Bonus, the Freep writing an article titled, "Did Jeremy Fears trip another opponent in the MSU game versus Illinois?" after Underwood and whatever the fuck, said it wasn't nothing is a complete joke. And from Matty B, Jeremy Fears, the biggest loser. Pretty awesome headline from the Freep. That was after Brad Underwood said it was nothing. All right, maybe there's no conspiracy, Graham, but how about a little critical thinking over there?
Hold on. I got to go to the Freep website. That's
Welcome
the
to
site.
The blue wall.
I mean, I know they do things that are a little sensationalized, and it drives
me
nuts.
Los?
I don't think Los wrote it. I think it's just like it's a trending type story. Let's see if we got Jeremy Fears adds another elite effort. Acquired detractors. Oh no, Jeremy Fears is the biggest winner and loser in MSU's win over Illinois. Who wrote this? Let's see. This is
names.
Yeah, this is Andrew Burkle. He's like an editor there who was on site, and they do
Burkle.
This is what they do. They do a thing. I like Andrew a lot. They do a thing that we don't run in the LSJ because I don't love it, but they do it in football in here, like winners and losers from the weekend, and it's like a standing thing. So he was the winner and the loser. So I don't like the term loser that much to be overused as a player, so I don't like it. I just don't like it. It just
it's
always
nice.
bugged me. Well, it just it seems
not nice.
forced.
How about everybody's the winner?
If there's a real loser in a situation, then call them out. But like if you have to do it because you have a standing thing, I don't like the bit. So we don't use it in the LSJ, and that's just been decided. But nonetheless, that's what it was. It was not them trying to call out him for being a loser. To the yeah, and the Freak wrote that article. Yeah, I mean, I think that article was written mid-game, right after it happened. This is taken out of the MLive playbook. They do this stuff because people click on it, and so if you want this stuff to go away, and I would love it, do not click on it. Do not take the bait. Okay,
like Los. Don't click on
when you
shit.
click on Los. When you click on anything that looks like something that's going to frustrate you, you have then only added to the reason these things get done. And I'm with you, but don't be part of the problem. That's what I would say. Have that discipline. Well,
then who do we talk to? Do we have to write our congressman to get these guys out of here?
Well,
what do we have to do?
But if they're not getting the results, is what I'm saying from those stories, they will stop doing them.
All right. Matty B, not sure why Izzo gives some of these national writers and TV personalities the time of day. The moment something like Fears happens, they trash him and his program. Not asking for favoritism. Fears earned it, but the hyperbole has gotten out of control, and he doesn't deserve it.
Well, yeah. Okay, a couple things. One, Izzo wants to give these writers the time of day. First of all, he wants his program to have attention, and so that's not going to happen. And he has good relationships with some of these guys. I don't know that all of them are trashing him right now. And again, I'm not paying attention to all of it. I know that, I didn't watch the pregame show the other day. It was on against the Premier League. Never going to see it. But some of it probably has gotten a little overblown because it comes from the standpoint of the rivalry, which has created a lot of the discourse. But Fears also earned some of this. He absolutely did. And what he did at Minnesota earned some eyes on him. And he's going to have – I think he can outrun it. We had a take earlier that he can't outrun this I think he can, as long as these sort of things stop happening. He can still have some gamesmanship, but if he goes a season without having a situation where anybody thinks he should be suspended, then this will not be part of how he's thought of. But he's going to have to go a little while, and he's going to have some extra eyes on him.
Fears. Next. All of the Fears drama has importantly rallied the team.
I don't know if this is actually Fears or if I accidentally put Fears in. It's probably not great. Yeah.
Illinois game was a great all-hands-on-deck effort. Can enough of that continue? Will Scott continue to grow, and will massive minutes and pressure on Fears be too much? Will be fun finding out.
Yeah, I mean, look, Michigan State they raised some eyes with the way they played against Illinois. They sort of re-energized themselves. I think it gave themselves some life and some belief, and I think it was an important game. And they also proved that what was happening in those last few performances wasn't just going to be the way it was. And so now the question is, can they go on the road with Wisconsin and build on it?
Butternut's McGillicuddy next. Anyone else notice how Illinois fans are quite literally the worst online presence ever? Have to remind myself that they're all Bears fans as well. Then it makes more sense. And from Cooper, Illinois basketball fans cry harder than any other Big Ten fan base in any sport. Absolutely insufferable.
They're a basketball school, and this is what a basketball school looks like, because they care. They care about basketball more than football, and so this is their thing, and they haven't been able to win at the levels they want to. They're a frustrated basketball fan base because they are one that tends to be more emotional than even ever. I mean, look, Twitter is a place for emotional instability, and you just see a lot of it from Illinois, but that stems from what they care about. This is their thing, and yet they haven't been great at their thing, and now they have a team that looks like it might be great, and they're frustrated when they lose something that looks like a chance at a Big Ten title, which they still have a chance. They still play Michigan, but this was a big loss for them.
John, a teenage tennis-playing Graham, wouldn't have just fit in at Northville. He'd have been the unofficial mascot, stalking the courts in a Kangol and dispensing unsolicited backhanded critiques like a suburban tennis prophet no one asked for.
Hell yeah, that would have been me. Shake Shack gift card.
Oh, my God.
John.
This fucking guy. We have enough?
We do. We have enough. We have enough for plenty next week.
Shake Shack gift cards for everyone today.
No, not for everyone. But for the day, and maybe we'll frame it a little differently, and we'll do something next week. But we have plenty more to give away as well. Reminder: Shake Shack opens in Lansing at Frandor next Wednesday, February 18th at 10 a.m. And if you haven't checked out the Shake Shack menu before, it is worth your time. It is fantastic, and it may save my marriage. So there's that as well.
Spartholomew, Super Bowl LX could go down as the only non-Lions edition where both Michigan and MSU fans had heavy rooting interest in the same team, with Michigan and their handful of former cheating coaches and MSU with K9. And bonus, whoever made the Jeremy Fears is from the streets of Chicago joke from last show needs a Hopcat gift card. Literally burst out laughing when I heard that.
What is this?
He's giving out cards.
Yeah.
This is whoever you are. Apparently, you get a gift. Oh, yeah. Hopcat.
Yeah, no, sorry. This is like 2022 here,
school.
but I appreciate that. Yeah.
Hopcat.
Respect. Whoever made the Jeremy. Oh yeah, but the Super Bowl thing. I think there were probably. I think most Michigan fans are probably tied to Tom Brady and the Patriots more than anything else, right? He was their guy for 20 years. I would guess 70% of Michigan fans who had a rooting interest in that game were on the side of the Patriots.
Ken Chu, Tommy Manisto scores the most incredible empty net goal in the history of hockey to secure MSU's 4 out of 6 points versus Michigan. Jeremy Fears sets records as MSU beats that Eastern European Olympic basketball team, and K9 is Super Bowl MVP. Spartans will.
I got nothing else for you. I mean, it was a good
Let's
weekend
go green.
for MSU.
Go God.
And they bounced back. The hockey, the bouncing back was a really impressive performance in Detroit. What was frustrating is I wanted to go to that game, and I really wish that the basketball, a year ago, the basketball game was like at noon and the hockey was at night, and you could kind of do both. And it was frustrating to have them both go off at once. But if you have 2 TVs and you don't have the Wolf Blitzer TV setup, you can make it all work.
David Jackson. No excuses if MSU doesn't win the Big Ten regular season hockey title over Michigan. We each have 3 series left. Of the other 5 programs in the Big Ten, Michigan plays the top 3 and MSU plays the bottom 3, with Minnesota in both groups. All I can say is go Penn State and Wisconsin. And bonus, MSU basketball will beat both Wisconsin and Purdue. The question is, what will that get us? What are Michigan, Illinois, and Nebraska going to do?
So I do think MSU hockey has a great chance to win the Big Ten regular season, which would be 3 straight years. And obviously the postseason is what a lot of people's focus will be on. But that's a level of consistency and excellence it's pretty amazing given where that program was a couple years ago. If Michigan State basketball beats both Wisconsin and Purdue, I will be a believer. And I don't think Wisconsin and Purdue are at the level of Michigan and Illinois. But those are 2 road games. And road games in the Big Ten are tough. And if they win both those games, what will that get Michigan State? I think they might be playing for something on that final weekend. The question is, will somebody else beat Michigan? And, will Illinois beat them and get them to 2 losses? And then is there another loss for Illinois somewhere? Michigan State needs some help at this point, and they got to be just about perfect the rest of the way. But if they beat Wisconsin and Purdue on the road, they're also going to have to beat Indiana on the road probably. There's a lot of work still to do. But that would give them everything we're talking about. I think it was Eric Schultz at the very beginning talked about how telling that win over Wisconsin would be. If they win both those games in those 2 spots, that would be really telling.
Sparty Barb next. Gloating take. Welcome back to hockey, Jack Ivankovic. All the best from Gavin O'Connell, Porter Martone, Charlie Stramel, and Tiernan Shouty. Go green.
Great weekend for MSU hockey. It really was. I mean, it's
Let's go green. Go God.
Yeah, it's
Tiernan
Shouty. It's a good name. Tiernan. I actually like Tiernan.
You would.
Is a name, So.
Chris, once again, MSU hockey is the most talented team in the country and are now in prime position to three-peat as Big Ten champs. Time will tell if that will matter in the tourney. And baked. Dusty calling Fears a dirty player over 1 trip was an attempt at psychology warfare. We'll see if it backfires in March. And twice baked. Nice to see that the NFL Super Bowl MVP voters aren't as moronic as the Heisman voters. What a dominant postseason for K9. Happy to see he finally gets the individual recognition he deserves.
And apparently it was the first game his dad has ever been at, which is kind of cool because his dad doesn't like crowds or something like that.
I agree with his dad.
Yeah, 100%. Are you Kenneth Walker's dad?
I wish I was.
That would be
I wish
cool.
I was related somehow.
The amazing thing is you are now old enough to be Kenneth Walker's dad. Did you know that?
That'd be sick.
Yeah, it'd be pretty. I mean, I have some other questions if that was the case, but
What? What question?
No, just we don't need to get into them here.
What do you mean? Because I never played football?
No, I mean the race component.
Oh, you know what, Couch? That's always the race with you. It comes down to race.
No.
That's what he was saying at halftime yesterday.
That's not that. No.
Jordan Villarreal, K9, reminding everyone of MSU's relevance in football Sunday could be the intro to something great this year. A winning season, please. And bonus, figure skating is severely underrated as an Olympic sport. Ilya Malinin, can we just say quad god? Makes me want to replace my hockey skates with figure skates.
It's a pretty.
What is happening?
Well, a couple things I always think when I watch like ice dancing, I always think, why isn't real dancing a sport? If ice dancing is a sport, it gets judged. It's in the Olympics. Regular
real dancing is a sport.
Regular dancing is uber athletic. It's difficult. It's why don't we have that?
They have dancing championships. Isn't dancing is in the Olympics? It's in the summer.
Is it? Well, I guess it's break dancing is now. Yeah, right. That's a good point. Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Nate, Kenneth Walker III is the miss that the Heisman Trust should never be able to live down and baked. If MSU hockey wins the national championship, I don't care if football loses every game this season. If basketball does it, 2 seasons. Both, I don't care if football ever wins again.
So this is how you have to be too when you're a fan and you're dealing with rival fan bases or opposing fan bases. Everybody has their thing. If Michigan State is great in this, or your team is great in this, is great in some sport that isn't the mainstream sport, and that's what drives you, then nobody can say anything. That people can't decide what should matter for you. I do think MSU hockey this postseason is going to be one of the more fascinating storylines because they have the best chance of the Michigan State major winter sports of winning a national title, and they also probably have the most pressure on them because of what's happened the last couple years, especially last year losing in that first round game. It'll be very interesting to watch.
Thomas, this is crazy to say because MSU hoops is my favorite sport, but if hockey can pull off this title, I may be able to forgive a slightly disappointing tourney run. And bonus, if Fears was half as egregious as Brad Davidson, He still wouldn't deserve the attention he's getting, though he should be careful.
The Brad Davidson had a more punchable face. Well, I don't know. I bet you fears to a lot of opposing fans has a punchable face. Like the way, I bet it's a really punchable face. Because the punchable face, we talked about this the other day, is all in the eye of the beholder. You and I, for a lot of people, have very punchable faces.
Really? A punchable face?
I don't know. Maybe
we
not.
do? I guess you're right. In if someone doesn't like you, yes, it becomes a punchable face.
Right.
But does Fears have a punchable face, though?
Brad Davidson was so certainly the scrappy white guy is easier to hate in basketball.
Yeah,
without
the
question.
red cheeks,
the red,
shit.
yeah.
You're kind of like Aaron Kraft.
But the Aaron Kraft, I mean, I thought Solari did a nice job when he was saying the Grayson Allen versus Aaron Kraft comparison. Aaron Kraft may have driven people crazy. I will, but he was, he was respected, and he was respected by his peers. Grayson Allen, not so much. He was viewed as a dirty player, and so you got to understand that difference.
Daniel R. Patterson, my take. Dusty May is a sore winner, whiny chump, trying to sully Jeremy Fears' reputation. Spartans will win at Ann Arbor.
I certainly think Dusty May knew what he was doing, answering the question and saying what he said. And I think May is more calculated than probably some people may think. But he was also asked the question, so I also like when coaches give answers, honest who they are. And should have he called Izzo and said, this is an issue, and what did that change their relationship? Maybe. But I also – people act like he decided to come – and maybe he did decide he was going to bring it up if he had the opportunity, but he was asked the question at the press conference.
Jay Riemenschneider, in an 8-day span, MSU fans went from Duke barely got us, we can beat anybody. Then after Michigan, we don't have enough to compete at the top. And after Minnesota, we'll be lucky to get a 6 seed. Now after Illinois, it's we're back and we'll be a 2 seed at worst. Sports fandom in a nutshell. And from Couch on Fire, sports are so bipolar. Last week was a Spartan train wreck, sans hockey, and then this weekend we get men's, women's, and hockey big wins. And bonus, it's okay to like Fears, even if he had a few nasty plays last week. We loved Bill Lambier, remember? 26-15, come on.
No, absolutely. If you hated Lambier, and you hated Rodman, if you weren't on their team, those guys have existed forever, and it's okay to be that guy. And if you're Fears, you can be the guy that people love to have on their team and hate if they're not. You just have to make sure you don't cross the line beyond that. I think Jay's on to something. I mean, it is, look, this is the way it goes, especially in college sports. It's different than like the NBA where there are losses that you just know are coming. You're going to lose a certain amount of games. Every loss, we're not built for basketball, first of all. We're just not. I mean, basketball is a season where even the best teams wind up losing at some point, and everything is frustrating. It's overreaction to some degree. We're built for football in a 12-game season where everything really does matter and everything does have huge consequences. And we'll see if MSU basketball can keep this up. But certainly this is not looking a whole lot different than other years where they had a couple games where they dipped and they figured it out.
Tim, would MSU fans rather have won versus Illinois and finish as a 2 seed, but Michigan wins the Big Ten outright, or lose and finish as a 3 seed and Illinois wins the Big Ten outright? Or bonus, Graham, did you bet kicker and no TD? We need slips, otherwise it's time to bury this bit. If there was any year you had some value in either, it was this year. So if you don't produce slips, you can never bring up the no TD bet again.
Well, like I said earlier, the only book that I saw had it, wasn't really a legit book, and they were
literally. I think every book has.
I couldn't find it. I could not find it. I think people are on. I think they were worried about this year. I think that's why the value wasn't good. I think they knew it was going to be
no
a defensive
TD
game.
Like in the search.
Yeah, I couldn't find. Well, I don't know if I.
So you had to go to Panera and a guy like you made a bet with a guy.
I don't.
Panera,
that's not how it works. No,
and you wrote it on the back of a receipt. Can we see the receipt?
Not at all. It's not like that. There's a website you use, and only if you owe money do you have to go meet somebody. That's the way it works.
All right.
It's just, it's fine. It's not.
So there's a slip somewhere.
There's no slip. There's no. Well, I mean, there's a record online, of course, but I'm not showing you. I'm not tweeting out.
Right, this is going to be harder to get than the Epstein files.
Hurt my political career later on. To the question though from Tim, would MSU fans rather have won or won against Illinois and finished 2 seed, but Michigan wins an outright Big Ten title? This is a very Ebling question. Or lose and finishes a 3 seed and Illinois wins the Big Ten outright? I think they'd rather beat Illinois and handle their own business, and because the reason is Michigan winning the Big Ten title. They've done that before. That's not the thing that would crush Michigan State fans. Michigan getting to a Final Four won't even it's Michigan winning a national title that would be the thing that you start to answer this question. And Michigan State fans want to win. They want their own team to do well. I don't think they don't feel in basketball the way it is in football, where Michigan's this threat to who Michigan State is, right? It's not this existential threat that they're great and both can't be great, or it's just different. It's so different. Michigan State basketball has been good long enough that people aren't quite as insecure. I do think the national championship would be a different conversation, though.
Corey Ostrom, the offense spaces out best and creates more ball movement when Fears probes the lane, gets a seal, and either finds a trailer, kicks it out, or gets a shot in the lane.
Corey, you should tell this to Tom. No, I don't.
We'll tell Steven, and then Steven will tell Tom.
Yeah. Steven, pass this along, please.
Rug and Tub. Wonder if Graham is noticing Kohler with these open three pump fakes that leads to turnovers. Just take the shot, man. He's clearly is doubting himself, which is costing us points and leading turnovers and bonus. MSU is 0 for 24 when it comes to plays when they use it or lose it timeout on use it or lose it timeouts. If I was Kurtang, I would tell Izzo, your 90-year-old mother could draw up a better play.
To the Kohler question there, I have not looked at that the turnovers, but when I was watching the game back, I was trying to see, because there were in the last couple games there have been a couple plays where he has definitely looked like he could have gotten a shot off and decided not to shoot. And I wondered if that was hesitation or confidence. And as I went back through both Minnesota and this game, the Minnesota game after that game, which I was mostly watching for Fears plays at the time, but then this game, a couple of those plays look like he can get it off, but I think it's not as open as we think at the moment. But there are a couple where he's thought maybe they can get a better shot, and so I think he is still trying to figure out what's the best shot they can get.
Matt C. next. Izzo, I love you, but when a guy hits a 30-foot three to make it a one-possession game with under 10 seconds left, let's call a timeout and draw up an inbounds play. And Baked, apparently my mom is also a fan of the show. So chill. Appreciate you.
I love that somebody created a Matt C.
That's great.
It's Mom's burner.
Matt C. Mom.
Yeah.
Hot takes.
Yeah.
So. Matty B. Not sure why Izzo gives some of these national writers and TV persons. Did we do this one?
Yeah, we did. Sorry,
fucking with me here.
I meant to move it, and I moved it, but I didn't delete
the old
anything,
dude. I'm lightheaded.
Oh, you're gonna love that we got to do old leftover questions.
Are they at the end of this?
Yeah.
Or I got to go find them. G Quang Couch has said MSU is one man short, or Izzo is seriously looking for a big man shooter, etc. for 5 years. We see Izzo makes contrary decisions, then see MSU struggle because of those deficiencies. Wasn't the goal to stop hinging wins on one guy?
The idea is to build the best, most complete roster you can, and you can argue that Izzo should have done more at shooting guard. That's a fair argument, but that's, he has. They have the rest of the roster. I mean, if you put Jace Richardson in this, I think they're every bit with those top teams for sure. And so that they're potentially missing one play, and whether they get enough, out of Jordan Scott, who's defensively looking like he can be a real difference maker, and enough scoring, and whether they get the roles from Kurt Tang or Trey, we'll see. But there's no doubt that they probably could have done more at shooting guard.
Howard Bailey, number one, the Super Bowl first half looked like a Big Ten West Division game. The Iowa defensive coordinator creamed his pants. And two, Brett Favre is goofy. Just say I don't understand Bad Bunny. Don't list bands who haven't been relevant for over a decade.
That's what he did. Jesus.
Is that what fucking Favre did?
Yeah, Favre's not exactly the...
This is an REO Speedwagon.
Yeah.
3, Hoop fans are unhinged. Epstein files reveal real evil, but no fears is the devil. Is that a limerick?
I don't know. It's not a limerick, but it's something. Yeah. The Big Ten West Division game did have some merit there. I like that.
But if you see Favre tweeting shit like that, can't you just be like, shut up, old man.
He's
move on. Like, who cares what Favre has to say?
Well, and he's also been in his own shit where he's like embezzled money and stuff. Like at this point, Favre does not have a whole lot of
firing out dick pics while his wife had cancer.
Yeah, moral clarity is not really his strength.
Yeah. Some dude, number one, fight night, which should get top billing. Izzo versus Portnoy, Couch versus Byron Donald, or Solari versus Johnny Spirit.
Solari, Johnny Spirit.
2, case for the Tigers being much better. If healthy, pitching should be much better. Not only Framber, but Jansen, Melton, and Finnegan all year. I actually looked this up, and the Tigers' offense was ranked 11th in the league last year. The problem was feast or famine. Can they just cut down on strikeouts and easily move into the top 7 or 8? Will the young players mature enough from last year to do this? Would love one more high average stick in that lineup.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, I think we're all hoping that. I think this was the move. We talked about the idea that at some point you may actually just boycott the Tigers. Well, they went out and signed a guy and spent some money, and you can see a little bit of the vision here. I still question whether they have the lineup to do it.
Who's Byron Donald?
He's this blowhard that I mean, a lot of people were like turning these Olympic athletes quotes into culture wars, and he's the worst of them. He's not the worst of them, but he's just this guy who drives me nuts every time I see him, and I couldn't resist. So I tweeted. I just replied to one of his tweets
his Twitter battle.
Yeah, he doesn't offer anything in life, and it drives me nuts. Like it's not even like I.
So what? You follow him then?
I must. I don't know if I do, but it's one of those things where everybody knows how I lean politically, but I love and do not mind dissenting opinions and good discourse, and people. I have friends who are all over the political spectrum and love conversations with them.
Except it's when it's against stuff you're passionate about. No. Then you get offended.
If you just never offer anything decent, you're always pandering to somebody. I mean, like it's just he's the worst. He's the worst kind of person out there, and that's all it was. And I couldn't. And
so what happens? Like, are you minding your business and you're like, oh fuck this?
Ultimately, I should have just stayed out of it. And a moment of weakness, I just had to reply.
Listen to a tennis podcast.
Yeah, something.
Fire that shit out. Hans Jurgen, confession hot take. After the back-to-back losses to Go Blow in Minnesota, I lost faith. I reduced my consumption of MSU news, didn't post any Friday questions, and didn't watch the first half of the Illinois game. I thought we would lose most of the rest of our games and lose in the first round. How should I atone? Stab out my eyes, Oedipus style. How do you say it? Oedipus style? Oedipus. Fuck. Please forgive me. I have sinned against Sparty.
Gives you more credibility when you doubt, but also doubting too quickly. Look, I think a lot of people were worried about this team, and rightfully so. And then you get on top of that, you get the Ugochukwu injury, and it looks like, oh, wait a second. And there were a point in that Illinois game where I thought Illinois was going to pull away. Credit to them for not letting it happen. And it will be interesting to see them on the road a little bit in some of these games. I know Wisconsin and Purdue aren't there, but how they handle that. And then, Michigan at the end, what it looks like against an elite team at a venue that's not Breslin.
Jake Hawkins, listen, Dunkin' Donuts. Why the hell do you guys have to try so hard on Super Bowl commercials? Overloading them with celebrities nonstop? I know everyone in the Super Bowl ads does it, but not like you. It doesn't make me want to go to Dunkin', and you got nothing on Groovy Donuts.
Appreciate you, Jake. Hell yeah. Groovy Donuts, by the way, next Tuesday, not this Tuesday. Next Tuesday is Fat Tuesday. You can get your orders in at groovydonuts.com. Ahead of time,
or we call it Graham Couch Tuesday.
Graham Couch Tuesday is also good. Also a good time to get a muskox for the man boobs. Good time for that.
Upper Deck Jerk Guy, want my takes? Like you wanted my questions on Friday? Here you go. Number 1, professionals should anticipate a press conference and make certain they paced their show well enough to get all the questions.
Noted. Yeah.
2, Mel Tugger owes so much money to Kenneth Walker for getting him that contract.
Yeah, but Mel didn't get most of the contract because he blew it. I don't know how much money he actually owes.
Yeah, we don't have enough time for all of that.
We're out of time.
We do apologize for last Friday, and you are right. But nobody said the show was professional. All right, we are going to take one last quick break. When we come back for the real degenerates of this show. You stick around for leftover questions from last week. Some good ones.
So if you don't get to them, then you call them degenerates for wanting to hear their question from Friday.
That's fair.
What a show.
Yeah. Couch in the Rube, our Monday show presented by our friends at Muskox Quality Flannels.
Where else can you cheer on your team, enjoy a mouth-watering burger or savory sushi, sip on handcrafted cocktails, or one of 46 beers on tap? Take your game day or date night to Cask & Company Kitchen Bar or Front 43 Neighborhood Pub near Frandor. 2 amazing places with 1 awesome blended modern American-Asian menu. Catch the game on one of 30 60-inch TVs or stop in for the all-you-can-eat lunch buffet. Enjoy happy hour or elevate your night out at Cask & Company or Front 43 on East Saginaw in Lansing. Ever wonder how comfortable you can be and how good you can look? Put on a Muskox flannel and find out. Muskox has new arrivals for this fall, including the Caper Green Grand Flannel, which even makes couch look good. Muskox is a Detroit-based flannel company that creates soft and durable flannels made to last a lifetime. They become a great partner with Couch in the Rube, not just because they make us look good and feel good, but because they're good people too, and a socially conscious company. For every $100 purchase, $10 is donated to the Alaska Wildlife Conservation. Muskox flannels are designed with 100% cotton that is ethically sourced and double brushed for softness. Feel the quality and comfort of a Muskox flannel by ordering at gomuskox.com, where Couch and the Rube listeners can enjoy $15 off their flannel purchase with the promo code HOFF. Come enjoy irresistible, award-winning, handcrafted donuts and locally roasted coffee at Groovy Donuts. Surprise your family or coworkers with special holiday designs and flavors, or put the perfect finishing touch on an event with a custom order. Birthdays, weddings, gender reveals, our friends at Groovy Donuts are your answer. Experience the Groovy Donuts difference for yourself on Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing or in Williamston. Get more information or place an order at groovydonuts.com.
Please like and subscribe to the Couch and the Rube YouTube channel. Also, download podcast episodes wherever you get your podcasts. For sponsorship opportunities, email Jason at couchandtherube.com.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you. Couch in the Rube, our Monday show, presented by our friends at Muskox Quality Flannels. Go muskox.com. Peacock for $15 off your Muskox flannel. It's time now for some questions we did not get to. Leftover Twitter questions presented by our friends at Groovy Donuts. Reminder, next week is Fat Tuesday. Go to groovydonuts.com. Place your orders today. They'll be open all day Tuesday, which is fantastic because they're not usually open on Tuesdays. Who doesn't love a holiday called Fat Tuesday at Groovy Donuts?
Original Dark Mantonio. Listener Shep asked if Tony and Andrew from the Hail Yes pod that you and Solari appeared on were Michigan fan media. And all your word fumbling, you didn't really answer the question coherently. Could you please tell us about them? Are they Michigan student fanboys? And Tony does sound fanboyish.
No, Tony is, first of all, he's a Michigan State grad, who I believe used to be a Michigan State fan.
White guy.
Yeah, and he's a white guy named Garcia. And he covers University of Michigan for the Free Press. He is the Detroit Free Press, USA Today, Gannett. He is the person who covers Michigan for USA Today Network and for the Detroit Free Press. He is the guy. And Andrew is an editor at the Free Press who is really good, young, talented guy who actually lives in the Lansing area. And so they're not fanboys at all. They work for the Free Press. And if they sounded that way, apologies. I didn't catch that. But yeah, it was a joint effort. It was like we put it on the Spartan Speak podcast feed as well, and with their help, it was sort of a joint effort going into the rivalry. That's all it was.
Original, you guys were wondering how Sharon's wife could stay with him if everybody in Ann Arbor connected to Michigan knew about his infidelity for a few years. Don't you think she already knew too? Yet she was still with him.
I don't know if she knew to the degree of all the stuff. I don't know. I don't know what she knew. Yeah, and I don't know what her, and I don't know if she'll stay with him. It's not my business. But it's yeah. I don't really want to dig into that much further. But yeah, I don't know what she knew, and people have a lot of reasons for doing what they do to try to keep families together.
Clint, One Ball Bainey, who will be the first cringeworthy celebrity or college president to give back their home or stolen ancestral land? Let me answer that for you. None. So shut the fuck up and accept your award or hand it out. Who in the right mind believes that you should? Is he talking about something?
Yeah, there was a thing going around where it was like, I don't know.
Oh, was he talking about Billie Eilish?
Yeah.
Like the fucking Grammys thing?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think so. Well, this is, keep in mind, this is old. These are Friday tapes.
Oh, shit, right.
Yeah. So Clint One Ball is bringing it.
I mean, he's right.
I'm
with him.
I wouldn't.
It's all stupid. I'm with him.
I mean, I
just didn't know what you're saying.
I'm British. We steal land from everybody. I mean, that's what we do.
You and Tony Garcia.
Yeah.
Clint Bainey, what year will Pat Fitzgerald have a first-round draft pick?
It's a good,
season.
Yeah, I don't know, and it'll probably be a player's developed. Or will it be a player they go get who's a big time transfer, or will it be a somebody developed? And nobody's certainly in their roster right now that you can see is obviously that person. So it's a good question, but they need those guys to start to develop. And it's not so much the first round, but if you look at their history with the NFL draft, it's those top 4 round guys, right? When they've had good teams, they got guys in the first 4 rounds, and they haven't had many in a while.
Andrew Graham, can you recite the Solari poem to open the show?
I cannot. He's referring to a poem that was written by a writer who works for Spartans Illustrated, who was frustrated with an outburst by Solari, and I don't know. I'm not gonna. I don't want to. We may have addressed it here a little bit, but I don't want to. I don't want to get into
Who
it.
is
I don't
it?
want to bring
Someone
more light
called
to it.
Solari out.
Well, Solari was unhappy that the printed box scores were not handed out to us. This was a couple games ago. And he was upset mostly that they ran out before they got to the people actually on deadline, which is a valid complaint. Yeah. But it was not the fault of the young intern who was passing them out. And he kind of, as Solari does, he snapped a little bit at the whole situation. But it was the poem that was written itself where that missed was it had nothing to do with gender. It was Solari would snap at the Pope if they didn't bring him printed box scores correctly or didn't understand the deadline process. Wasn't handled great on his side. But I think the poem missed the mark in terms of what was actually happening there, too.
Wow. Okay.
A lot of drama on the beat.
No kidding. I'm sad I missed that. Fart Soup Graham, why do you enjoy pushing Izzo's buttons? He's old. He has a temper. He certainly has high blood pressure. You're playing with fire, and if something happens, you have blood on your hands.
See, that's not fair, Fart Soup. Yeah, I know you're kidding here, but that's not fair. I don't.
He's already got 1 kill on his record. Can't have 2.
I don't have a teardrop. You'd know. I'd put one on if I had. I'd have a teardrop.
Well, you can't. The case is still pending.
That's fair.
Statute of limitations. You can't get a teardrop.
Yeah, you don't want to show up with a teardrop at the trial.
Confirmed kill.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy pushing people's buttons here and there, and every once in a while, I enjoy a question that I know is going to elicit a reaction. That has not been what's been lately. They've just been questions that had to be asked, and sometimes, he's not going to love them.
Fart Soup, Jason, if we had to go live with Fart Soup and the Rube, why would our first guest be Hondo, and how many episodes before we get canceled? I don't know if we'd get canceled. I think people just wouldn't listen, and we'd just see like 2-3 views, and we'd be like, oh, all right, I guess it's time to move on.
It would do really well if Hondo was your first guest. That would do well. And I would pull the hell out of it.
With special guest.
Let's go green. Go God.
Yeah.
Figure a way to get Lats on here. Jake Hoggins, do you think that Jeremy Fears might get tempted to do the same thing that Jace Richardson did last year and go pro?
They're very different pro prospects. I mean, Jace Richardson's offensive game, they're very different pro prospects. I'm not saying Fears doesn't have a pro future to some degree, but I don't think he'll be seen in the same light. Now, he may have decided at some point, I've done what I can in the college game, and I want to go pro, and that would be different than Jace Richardson, too, because Richardson, I think, wanted to win more at MSU. He had a great year, but he probably felt there was more to give. You do reach a point where this is your moment in college. You've done what you can do. The difference now, though, is these guys can get paid a fair amount to come back, and there are no guarantees in the NBA, and that's why I think Fears is probably more likely to do one more year.
Next one from the Hawk. When's the last time you saw or talked to former LSJ colleague Stephanie Angel? She's one of my regular teams for DJ Trivia Thursday nights at Reno's North.
Texted with her before Christmas. Probably need to again. Huge fan. I mean, she was my boss she's took a retirement package, in the fall. She was my boss for the first 13 years I was at the LSJ. Just tremendous person to work for. And it's the reason I'm still around is the people I've had to work for as bosses locally.
Also blame her.
Yeah. No, I mean it really is fortunate. I mean, people think about working for big newspaper chains and all the stuff that goes into that. I have had just tremendous support locally, and that has been.
Are you accepting an award or something? What's happening?
I am. I'm going to mention Al Wilson and Barry Keel, all the people I love and love working with.
Overnight Jerk Guy, what's the longest you've ever spent watching a video of someone shaking hands?
I don't know what this is
that
about.
code for.
This was when Izzo and Dusty did it when Izzo did the blow by handshake.
Of course it is. What else would it be about?
Yeah,
porn.
This was definitely one you had to go back and look. And I tried to think of other quick handshakes he's had, and he's probably had a few.
How many times did you watch it? I watched it 3 times. I go, he doesn't like Dusty, man.
About that, yeah. We're in the same boat.
Jerk Guy, what happens when Devine is out with a foot injury, Fears gets ejected, and Wojcik is MSU's only point guard?
Well, it's a problem. It's a problem because Wojcik is a guy, he can steal you a couple minutes, and he may be a little more against certain teams, but he's not made to be a starting Big Ten point guard. So, and they don't have a lot of other ball handlers. Like a year ago, their strength of their team actually was their backcourt. And if you lost Fears, well, you had Trey Holloman, you had Jace Richardson, 2 guys who were very comfortable running the point, and they just don't have that now.
Upper Deck Jerk Guy, does Jason want to do a new college refs or ass video, or is he good with me populating Blue Sky with his scraggly beard? Dude, go ahead. Send that video out every day if you want. It's one of the things. I see it sometimes, and I laugh. I cannot believe I let my beard go that far. It's brutal.
It's a good look, I think.
No, it was terrible. Dude, it was unbelievable. And lastly, from the Jerk Guy, are you injecting hyaluronic acid? Hyaluronic,
which apparently is a naturally occurring moisture-binding sugar molecule found throughout the body, particularly in skin, joints, and connective tissues, capable of holding 1,000 times its weight in water. I am not doing this. I am not doing this.
Sounds gross.
The things I like to put in my body are more like Shake Shack and Groovy Donuts. And, yeah, and I like to wrap it up in a muskox flannel. We appreciate all of you. Thanks for bearing with us, listening to us, producing our show. We will be back later this week. We'll figure out the schedule based on how Jason recovers from this colonoscopy.
I'll be fine.
Yeah, I think it'll be all right. We'll figure that out. Be Wednesday or Thursday or maybe both. We will figure that out. We appreciate all of you, of course. We appreciate Muskox Flannels. Go muskox.com. Peacock for $15 off your flannel purchase. They also have hats and tees. I need to get a hat from there as well here. We appreciate, of course, our friends at Shake Shack. And we will have more opportunities for gift cards at Shake Shack. Remember, in East Lansing, or in Lansing, East Lansing, at Frandor on February 18th, the opening of Shake Shack, the Lansing version. Good show, man.
Yeah, man.
Couch in the Room.